So if you guys don't know who we're about to see, this is Colin Moriarty talking to Jeff Tarzia, aka Smash JT, aka the AI hallucination version of Pee Wee Herman. Smash JT is a grifter. He is one of those content creators who's basically a slop content producer who does nothing but put out negative news coverage about literally everything in video games, and is obsessed with one Alyssa Mercante to the point where he's currently being sued by them because he's produced like quite literally over 200 videos or 200 hours worth of videos on just that one person. So that's his framework. And as you can see from the screen, he's using an AI from VO. And he can't, goddamn, dude, he can't even fucking make this a full screen thing. Just make it the background too. It's easy, whatever. Let's just start. No, I'm not doing this. This is fucking stupid. Let's just get to when he's actually talking. Here's an intro. Oh my god, what is this?
Let's fucking go!
Is that fucking hypno? Oh my god, these guys are losers. Jesus.
Smash JT in the tub with the flow.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm sorry. I go through a lot of brain rot. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Not doing this, dude. Jesus Christ. What the? Oh my god. I don't even want to know who these people are. Although I think one of them is like Ginger Primer, John Delarose. I don't know who the fucking black kid with the horns is. This has been going on. Jesus. What the what? Oh my god. There's no way. There ain't no way. There ain't no way you have two intros. Ain't no way you're using AI of a random. Oh my god. Bro, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. He has two intros and it's just random women, AI women. Just what? You're a married man with like 2 kids. That's his fucking wife. Just put her in here. Weird to have her after this image. So we are literally 5 minutes into this. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's Eric TV. Oh my. Does this is them dunking on him, mind you. Does this not, of course, Alyssa. Of course. Y'all, if this doesn't give you insight to what kind of person this is, we are 10 minutes almost. We are 10 minutes into this. What the bro? Oh, when I told you he was obsessed with Alyssa Mercante, I was not fucking kidding. I was not kidding. We go through 12 minutes of bullshit intros, and then the first thing he talks about.
Cringe? I mean, to be fair, I don't necessarily disagree, but it's like cringe it feels very me. It's my vibe, and I love it. But shout out to Dark, you rock. As far
That's a very
as
dark.
what
Oh
we're
my
gonna
God,
be covering tonight, we got Colin Montgomery will be Montgomery. Colin Moriarty. Jesus Christ, I'm already breaking down. Hour or so, maybe long. I want to respect people.
Appeal.
It's for you. Stream.
What the?
Shout out
What the
to you
fuck?
guys. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are new to the stream, so this one is for you.
This is a Journo Rat Felting emergency appeal. Every day, video game journalists like Alyssa Mercante are suffering from a mind virus called YouTuber derangement syndrome.
You don't think it's insane how the level of delusion this guy possesses to say that Alyssa has YouTuber derangement syndrome, where he prefaced this by saying, if you're new to this channel, here you go. And then he immediately talks about Alyssa. Like, this motherfucker is so brain broken, dude. He's so goddamn brain broken. I just want to start. Bring Hypnog into a debate with Colin Smash. His own audience does not think he's equipped to engage in a conversation with Colin Moriarty. By the way, Colin Moriarty, he was like, I think he was like a games journalist or games writer, and he now has his own shit with sacred symbols. He's been in the industry for a long time, is what I'm getting at. So he has lots of knowledge, insider knowledge. So they're saying off rip, bring someone for backup.
One-on-one, a fair just conversation. I don't want to try to corner someone or anything like that. Just have a chat. And finally, we got Jay Viper for the 5-banger. Go woke. Go to the 4th in the charts, barely ahead of Madden's 2nd month and Helldivers 2. With that all out of the way.
Sorry, I have to chime in. First off, Jay Viper has no emotion. He sucks. Secondly, he's saying go work, go 4th in the chart. They're talking about Ghost of Yote, I believe, which, mind you, is the 18th best-selling game of the year 2 days into its release. And these motherfuckers have moved the goalpost to such a degree where now they're barely ahead of very popular franchise Madden and massively multiplayer game Helldivers 2. But notice how it says barely ahead, meaning they're still ahead of giant popular Madden and Helldivers 2, which took the world by storm.
2nd month and Helldivers 2. Tonight, that would.
There we go.
Welcome.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
By the way, all this started because of a Twitter exchange, and like Smash is running his mouth, and so then Colin's like, "Let me go on the show with you," and he did it.
Intro was really bad.
Where's my
But
camera?
It's good. It's good to be here with you today.
Like bad in a good way or
No.
really bad?
No, bad in a bad way.
Like how so? How could I improve
It's
it?
just too. It's too much. Like, think less Sopranos, more Mad Men. Get in and get out. The little sting.
I was talking about his
Okay.
intro.
That's fair.
I was
But
saying that's
each
fucking
their
too
own.
long.
I didn't know like when it was. I wanted to be here early just in case I was expected. You told me a quarter after.
Yeah.
But I sat through a lot of that, and
It's good
it was
shit,
a
huh?
thing. It was a thing that happened. Yeah.
It's
See,
definitely-
right off rip, same wavelength. Now, mind you, I'm not like some Colin defender, right? So don't take this as like oh man, I'm a big Colin fan. I just don't like Smash JT for a multitude of reasons. He's a misogynist piece of shit. He lies all the goddamn time. He's just completely dishonest and does literally anything for views. And if you were here earlier in the stream, you understand that I don't fucking like people who just do things solely for money and have no integrity whatsoever. He lacks integrity. And I have personal reasons to not like him. I'm being completely transparent. I don't fuck with this guy. I'm not like a Colin fan.
Very nice of you to join. And I know we are kind of standing on, I guess you could say, two sides of a coin. But before we even dive into our perspectives, why don't
What the fuck?
I'm sure most
what is that? I'm sorry, I'm being nitpicky, but again, I hate this man. What the fuck does that mean?
are kind of standing on, I guess you could say, two sides of a coin. But
Standing on two sides of the coin. That's not even expression. You're standing on different sides. Two sides across you're across the aisle, two sides of the line, whatever. or you're opposite sides of the same coin. You're not standing on the fucking
Before we
dumbass.
even dive into our perspectives, why don't you? I'm sure most people already know who you are. Your reputation precedes you. But why don't you tell people who you are, where they can find you, and what your history is and stuff like that, where you're coming from.
Okay, thank you for having me. My name is Colin Moriarty. I am the host of a PlayStation podcast called Sacred Symbols that I've been doing for a long time. I've basically been the co-host or host of the 3 biggest PlayStation podcasts over time. So Podcast Beyond, which still exists, that I left in 2015, and then PS I Love You, which is defunct now, and then Sacred Symbols. I run a popular Patreon called Last Stand Media. We do a podcast network, and I've been in the games industry professionally for 23 years, I guess now, since
Yeah, like I said, he has
So,
experience.
yeah, and I really just wanted to be on because I'm so I'm confused and befuddled by your lack of faith in the Circana numbers, and I'm wondering.
So basically, what started all of this was Circana, which they'll get into obviously, but Circana is a like a service that basically gets numbers directly from publishers. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? They get it directly from publishers and they report on it. So like if they say, for example, if Circana releases data saying that the best-selling games of October was number 1 Ghost of Yotei, number 2 Assassin's Creed Shadows, number 3 like fucking Forspoken, then those are the numbers. Like those are the numbers they've gotten directly from the publishers. It's not hearsay.
If you truly understand what they are.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we
so
can.
that's
He's also
kind of
calling him a
like-
dumbass.
You quote tweeted me. That's how I saw all this to begin with. I just said the kind of anodyne thing about Ghost of Yotei that I really like it. I'm not a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima, so I think it's a big step up from the original game. It's the 18th best-selling game in the United States already.
Yeah, like I
after
said.
3 days counted. And I just I feel like you and a lot of other people are spreading this somewhat misinformation about what.
And mind you, all his tweet said was, I'm happy for Sucker Punch that Ghost of Yotei is a certified commercial hit. It's already the 18th best-selling game in the US for the entire year after only 3 days. Sorry, I said 2 originally. After only 3 days of sales were counted. Great sign. It's a huge step up from Tsushima. A classic sequel, really recommended. That's it.
Circana is comparable to VG charts or Alinea or these other places that are actual data houses, as opposed to a company, a 50-year-old company that has direct access to the numbers. So and I feel like you're kind of obfuscating that with your audience, but it's like we can be on 2 separate sides, but what I'm saying is 100% true. So that's why I wanted to see how you responded to that, and I'll leave it there.
Oh yeah, sure. I think that's actually.
Also, I don't know if it's going to show here. Let me just for a second. If the live chat's going to be here or not. No. Okay. Oh, the live chat is here. No, I'm not going to use it because it's not going to look good on stream. But oh no, it is on here. Oh, sick. Okay, because there's some people in this chat that I'm going to talk about.
Actually a good intro to this. So when it comes to Circana, what?
And I'll give you a
specific
hint.
Numbers are
It's the
you
guys with the
referencing
wrenches
Ghost of
next to their
Yotei?
name.
The Circana data is the 20 highest grossing. It's actually by dollar sales level of retail plus digital games sold in the United States, as accessed by Circana's retail constellation, plus their direct access to the storefronts.
And
Famously,
are they?
Circana
But is
doesn't
it?
have
Is,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I thought you were done. Sorry. Continue.
I was just going to say, so famously, Circana actually has incomplete data when it comes to, say, Nintendo.
Right.
Nintendo doesn't share their digital sales, but they can't hide their retail sales because Circana gets that from the retailers themselves, so Nintendo can't do anything about it. On the
Right.
other
Okay. So also, I made a mistake. It says they publisher, they get directly from the retailers, which is honestly more important because, yeah, like Colin said, they can't bullshit you.
And Ubisoft recently pulled out of Circana, so their numbers don't appear anymore at all.
Okay.
So the reason why I think this argument about Yotei is strange is it's not if it's doing well or it's not. I don't think it's selling as well as Tsushima did. I think that there's probably a few reasons for that are notable and interesting. But it's certainly doing well.
I mean, if it's not selling as well as Tsushima did, it would have to be because of the PS4 install base versus the PS5 install base, right? PS5 has been around a far shorter time than the PS4 was. So by the time Ghost of Tsushima had released. And of course, the PS5 was harder to get because of Cobra and stuff too. So people are still buying PS5s. Like, there's a lot going into it. But like, I believe when you take that into account, that it's selling at a similar clip than Ghost of Tsushima did. So ultimately, they are ultimately selling the same.
Well, 18th in the United States after 3 days on one console is objectively impressive. It's not January or February. We're talking about August numbers. So now we have a stack of games from Monster Hunter Wild and all the EA sports games to other things.
Let me actually ask you about that, because I was thinking about that before the stream. 18th after 3 days, I guess on the surface does sound pretty impressive.
What do you mean on the surface? What do you mean on the surface? If we are in October, Ghost of Yote released. Let's look at this together. Ghost of Yote. Release date. October 2nd. October fucking 2nd, okay? October 2nd. And within 3 days, October is the 10th month of the year. There's 2 more months and the year's done. Within 3 days of it being released, it is the 18th best-selling game. Just with 3 days of sales counted. It's not on the surface impressive. It's only released on one console. It's not multi-platform. It's not on PC yet, because they will obviously put this on PC like they did with Ghost of Tsushima, in which make it sell more. It is already the 18th best-selling game of the year in the country. After 3 days, that's again, we're talking about basketball terms. This would be like if you were a rookie and after your first 3 games, you are already like top 100 in scoring.
But then if you take a step back and consider it's a AAA title, and how many AAA titles launch every year? And we're now towards the end of the year. So there's been a lot of time that's passed. Would you say 20, 30 AAA titles a year come out or so?
Yeah, I think it probably depends on how you even define that number.
What is the point of this?
Actually, like if you consider games that will never chart but are pretty good and certainly AAA, like a Chronos or a Hell Is Us or something like that, you could probably get to something more like 50. But even if you wanted to call those AA games or whatever, the point is that the numbers are, or the charts are organized by dollar sales, and they know the numbers, and people with Circana access can see the numbers, but they don't share them because that's the product that they're selling. We have to remember that.
I don't really. I want to take you to task on that. I don't
what?
buy that.
But it's true.
What?
I had a subscription
I think we
to it.
disagree on that point right there. I don't think it's the product they're selling. I think it's their withholding to maintain good graces with these companies, because otherwise the companies are not going to continue to provide them the numbers.
That's so fucking stupid. That's so fucking stupid. Why would Circana be trying to Ubisoft pulled out of Circana. Right? They pulled out of Circana because they want the numbers reported. Circana is doing a service not for the companies. It's for the people who want access to that data. Most likely, logically speaking, would be like people who may be invested in those companies to know how much money they're actually making. Like, this is so dumb. Why would Circana be like, we're actually going to lie and say Ghost of Tsushima was 4th because we want Sucker Punch to like us?
If they don't make them look as good as possible. Would you agree with that?
No, because when you, and I can understand why people might think that, but the real value in the data. So think about like the number or the charts that they send out every month as like the hors d'oeuvre. And it's like, if you want more than that, that's sit at the table. It costs thousands of dollars to join Circana. As I said to you on Twitter, and I can expand on it, is like when I was at IGN many years ago, when it was still NPD group, we had a Circana. It was an NPD subscription at the time. It cost 6 figures. And you're contractually obligated to not share the numbers. In fact, they would be so protective about the numbers that they would often give different people different numbers to try to track leaks.
Now, why is that?
Because that's their product, you dumbass. If I can go to IGN for free and get all the Circana numbers, why would I want to then buy Circana product? This is like not understanding movie trailers. This is like going, Well, why would this production company? Why would they only tease a bit of this movie? Is it because they're not confident it's going to do it? No, idiot, because they want you to watch their product. They want to get you interested, and then once you're interested, same thing happens in fucking news articles. They paywall certain things. They give you some things for free. Or back in the day for cable, when they would give you free access to, like, here's HBO for the weekend. Oh, you like it? You like what you got? Pay us money, we'll give you more what you want. It's a basic principle. Like, how does this not make any sense? How are you confused on this?
My assumption, I don't really know. My assumption is that it's probably something to do with, like, if we have everyone buying in and sharing numbers and being honest and equitable, then we should probably universally protect the numbers from being publicly exposed, because it's really a part of a data set that can be, as it is happening now, I think with Yote, somewhat misrepresented. I think it's a big reason why Ubisoft left Circana is because Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws were widely attacked for their sales figures, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, so in July was the last month that Assassin's Creed Shadows would have been posted on Circana, and at that point, it was the third best-selling game in the United States for the year.
Yeah,
so
behind Monster Hunter Wilds, which is crazy.
Like, you can feel how you want about Yote, about it being woke, about people not liking it, about the actress, about Sucker Punch, all those kinds of things. But Circana data is the gold standard of data. It's the only really reliable data we have. And you have to obviously garner other things about it because it's the United States only. But the US is the biggest core gaming market in the world. If you assume certain things about the data is true, for instance, Western Europe reflecting, or Latin America reflecting these numbers, but in lesser numbers, you can kind of start putting a picture together. That's why I'm a little surprised why people aren't super, like, I think it's a fun puzzle.
You're saying it's the gold standard, and I'm surprised that people aren't just going along with it. And I would push back saying, because there is, and I think you'd agree with this, there's a lot of trust me bro with it. Like,
you're the trust me bro though. Master JT is the guy who's like, trust me bro. Do you guys remember when he fell for fake sources? I believe like Mick Dizzle like tricked him. He was like, I vetted this source. No, you didn't. He also says he has sources in, like, hold on. I don't know if they pull this up, but it's me, so I have to do this. Someone at BioWare just called me, and yikes. Someone at BioWare just called me. We're supposed to believe this guy. We're supposed to believe. He's saying there's trust me, bro, people. This is him. This is him.
Today I received a phone call from somebody who works at BioWare. They reached out to me directly, and I confirmed from their actual official Twitter account, so I can confirm with you guys personally, take it or leave it if you don't believe me, by the way, that I spoke to someone on the inside.
Yeah, dude. The guy, mind you, if you guys aren't aware what was the world like 11 months ago, what game, when did the Veilguard come out? Veilguard came out October 31st, 2024. So 11 months ago, which is almost a year ago, was when Dragon Age Veilguard came out. If you guys aren't aware of the shit that was happening around this game, these guys were doing everything they could to make sure that Dragon Age the Veilguard was a toxic game to talk about on the internet, to say the least. He also said he had an insider with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Shadow is going to bomb. Assassin's Creed Shadow just dropped an embarrassing line. Mind you, this is the guy who's saying there's too many trust me bro. There's too many trust me bro people out there. He is one of the main ones. In fact, if you just go to his fucking page, talk about Derek Jaffe, what the, like, Hassan Abuse, Shields of Yote. Mind you, he was just talking about, he did it twice. Like, this is the guy who's saying there's too many trust me bros out there. He's saying Yotai destroyed Tsushima. And what's his source? What's his source
Would you
here?
be shocked if I told you that games journos are out there running defense for Sucker Punch and Ghost of Yotei?
Automatically saying that game journals are running defense. What's his source? Nothing. His source is misreading a fucking article. That's his entire source. This is the motherfucker trying to tell you there's too many trust me bro people out there. Just to give you guys context of who he is.
It's not hard numbers. It's
hard numbers if you have access to the data. That's what I'm telling you. Like when I had access to the subscription, it was hard numbers.
But because they don't give the full transparency to those numbers, it leaves room to be able to psychologically manipulate how people should feel about something.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, it doesn't. It doesn't give room for people to be psychologically manipulated. That's what you assholes do. Because they give you raw data, but you don't have access to it because you don't pay for it. So what they tell you online is these are the top 5, 10, 20 selling games. And then you dumbasses make up conspiracy theories going, well, there's no way Ghost of Yotei, that woke game I said was going to be bad, can be top 4 unless Circana is running defense for Sucker Punch because they're secretly part of the woke cabal.
Is that fair to say?
I mean,
no.
Maybe you can look at it like that, but I really think, I don't know how long you've been tracking like NPD numbers. The NPD numbers go all the way back to the mid 90s. So, and
I mean, I'm not new to this world either.
No,
Very dark. Why is it Colin believes that Sony, like many companies, will share their numbers to brag if a title exceeds expectations, but then withhold games figures with others if it's doing so well? What are you talking about? Sony did not talk about the sales of Ghost of Tsushima either. And it's not because, oh, it's actually doing pretty poorly. Sucker Punch just doesn't do that. Like, that's it. They just don't do that. Because they don't fucking have to. Because you know what Sucker Punch's job is? Is to get you hyped for it. So their Twitter right now, I can show you because it's safe. Their Twitter is people's footage. It's talking about updates for patches. It's screenshots. It's them reblogging people's stuff. Reposting. Sorry, I went Tumblr for a second. It came out October 2nd. Ghost of Yotei is out now. And it's the deluxe edition. And then it's just like, hey, thank you, Hideo Kojima and our good friends. Like, they're just celebrating its release. They did the same thing for Ghost of Tsushima. Happy 5th anniversary for Ghost of Tsushima. Like, at no point are they talking about the fucking sales of anything. Ghost of Tsushima launching on PC. Ghost of Tsushima was on sale. Ghost of Tsushima Ghost. Like, even if we go back to like when the game came, this is 2022. This is 2 years after the game came out. Like, they don't do that. And they don't have to. That's it. Like, they don't like, it's so stupid to be like, how come they don't talk about this thing when the sells good? Like, who cares?
At Sony, I've been in the game industry myself. I'm not some random dude that just.
Wait, because even when they do talk about it, they'll be like, well, you said players instead of sales. Yeah, dude, I said thank you for 10 million players. You can't extrapolate from that? Like, and again, what do you care? Like, they only care about the sales because they want to be like, see, the game failed because it's woke. They don't give a shit about the game itself.
For the year. So I just think that, like, you can feel how you want about Yotei, about it being woke, about people not liking it, about the actress, about Sucker Punch, all those kinds of things. But Circana data is the gold standard of data. It's the only really reliable data we have. And you have to obviously garner other things about it because it's the United States only. But the US is the biggest core gaming market in the world. If you assume certain things about the data is true for
we skipped the food sauce part already.
I mean, maybe you can look at it like that, but
so this is not new to me either. And that's not trying to big time
Wait,
you.
did you say you worked at Did you say you worked at Sony?
Sony Online Entertainment?
Oh, okay, cool. So you don't know that I would imagine SOE was incredibly attracted to the NPD numbers at the time, knowing that they were contributing to them.
No, okay. So here's a fun fact: Smash JT was a QA tester. He didn't fucking work at Sony Online Entertainment. He was a QA tester. That's a temp job.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different and talking to you about my experiences of when I was a game tester. I was a game tester at Sony Online Entertainment back in 2007, I believe, and it was when I first moved out to San Diego, California. I didn't have a job, I didn't really have any direction, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I saw an ad on Craigslist for game testing and I was like, well, I really like video games, and game testing's always been an idea I've rolled around in my head of giving it a shot, so why not go for it? Fast forward to interviewing and going through all the process, they loved me and they hired me for it. I had my first day and I was like, oh my god, I'm actually a game tester. This is pretty crazy. Some of you guys might be asking what it is a video game tester actually does, and while they do play a lot of video games, what I realized was it's not exactly what you think it is. Like, they'll assign a certain section of the game to you, and you need to explore each given section at a given time and work with teammates at times to make sure that it's playable, there aren't game-breaking bugs in it, there aren't regular bugs in it. You have to enter every time that you find a hiccup in the game, you have to stop, put it in the bug tracking system. There's a ton that goes on behind the scenes when you're game testing that you never tell people about. The game that I worked on the most when I was at Sony Online Entertainment, when they were still around, was a game called Cash Guns Chaos, which was basically a top-down shoot-'em-up, just like Smash TV, but the camera was way more zoomed in.
You're not even like, he didn't work for Sony.
Not necessarily. It was more MMORPG, longevity stuff. They didn't really care about that when I was there, at least. Not that I know.
And the thing is too is he knows he's getting caught, which is like he's saying they didn't care about. You think a company SOE, Sony Online Entertainment, which is responsible for like the MMO stuff, you think they wouldn't care about the fucking sales numbers? How much money their game was making, how much revenue was getting? You think they would be not interested in that?
I noticed.
It's surprising that I don't know. I've never really heard of people working in the industry and not understanding that like these are like probably this is like the only data set we really get that can be super reliable, as opposed to like VG charts. I don't know how they do it now, but I remember back in the day, a lot of it was like they would call random stores.
So out of his depth. He's so out of his depth.
The numbers into and try to garner the numbers and then correct them later. Alinea does a very
so out of his depth,
thing.
You guys.
They have like kind of a bespoke data system where they try to garner the numbers and then they make backwards corrections. But the only thing I'm trying to say is that this particular data, you don't see the transparent numbers if you don't subscribe. At least I don't know how it is anymore, but this is the way it was when I used to read the numbers. You would get literal Excel spreadsheets that were many thousands of cells long. And what I was saying on my show recently was like, we would at IGN often scroll to the bottom because random shit would get ingested. Like a random 32X game was dug up behind someone's, in the back room of an EB and they sold it. Or like a Dreamcast game.
Right.
And so like every little thing would be tracked.
Yep.
And what's funny is that I think you might have
Jay Viper. So Colin, have you seen the numbers? Listen to them speak, dumbass.
5 or 10 years ago. But as of 2023, when they started ingesting the digital data directly from the store,
I know I'm blocking a couple of the chats on his chat, but like
their numbers
that's why I'm reading out loud.
Accurate. They're probably more accurate than they've ever been since the retail only era.
I'm not questioning how they're accurate with their numbers. I want to be very clear about that. I'm saying that they're not divulging the numbers to us, which allows for a lot of variables to enter the picture. Which I think,
but it doesn't.
That, right?
That's what you do.
Yeah, I think if you interpret them not understanding where the numbers come from, then I think that's.
Colin's he's trying to be. I know he's going to lose his mind. He's trying to be so charitable to like gently explain to him, it's like, yes, if you do not understand these numbers, then sure, you can hallucinate what their actual meaning is. And if you look at Smash JT, that looks like a motherfucker who doesn't understand what these numbers are coming from. Hence his confusion.
It's accurate.
I mean,
But
I
again, they're
understand where
not
the
going to
numbers
give
come
away the
from.
milk for free. They're not going to like give their.
I get
It's
that,
it's
but-
an expensive
but I
product.
feel
They
like-
invest a lot of money
I
into it.
get that, but I feel like you're running defense for how it operates.
He's
which-
saying he's saying he gets that. I get it. No, I understand. I get it. But there's no but then. This is the business. This is capitalism. This is just capitalism. They're not going to tell you fucking everything because that's not their job. Their job is not to deal in transparency to random fucking YouTubers can use it for video and internet culture points. They invested thousands upon thousands of dollars in this product, probably even hundreds of thousands of dollars in this product, right? So they want to get an ROI, a good ROI. They can't do that if everyone knows their numbers. They can tell you the order, but as far as the numbers go, like again, I keep talking about sports because I love basketball. But imagine if the top 10 scorers of all time was just in the list, right? It's like LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, like whatever, right? But they didn't tell you how many points they had. And if you want to get the points, you have to subscribe to NBA.com to actually see the points. And no other media is allowed to tell you how many points they have, right? If the supply is controlled and limited and you want access to it, the demand is high, and you have the supply and you're the only one supplying it, you set the price. People want to know. He's confused as to why they're doing that, yet his confusion in wanting the numbers is precisely why they do it. Because the people who want the numbers for various reasons are willing to pay for it. That's how this works. It's a very basic concept. They have something you want. And since you can't get it from anywhere else, they set the price. They effectively have a monopoly on this data set. And they will tell you the order, but you don't care about who's number one, number two, number three. You want to know how much is number one making, how much is number two make, how much number three make, right? Other companies who want to know this information. If IGN wants to know, it's so they can do their rankings. They can tell which games sell better. If other publishers want to know, they want to see what their competition's doing. They want to see where they rank. Like, there's so many reasons why this is an actual business, and they've been doing it for fucking like 50 years. Since 1966. So I think they have a pretty good understanding of how their business works. And how dare you make me talk about monopolies in a non-negative way? Monopolies are bad, chat. Monopolies are bad.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not saying I'm right, you're wrong. I'm just saying I'm asking for transparency, and it seems like you're protecting how the operation works. Would that be fair?
No, he's explaining how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would love a system where we had a transparent, like actually Japan's a great example, although it's retail only. Europe, the same thing, like a retail only.
I'm glad you
situation.
brought that up because that's where I was just going to take this. Before the stream, I brought this chart up. This is the first 2 weeks that we have of actual tangible data that is fully transparent. This is
Smash JT. JT's trying to super hard to avoid. It feels like this game, and I don't like. Oh,
Not
I promise you, he will talk about his feelings.
Japanese launch sales, Famitsu, which physical, and this tells me that
Holt, Classic, Cage. All these fucking losers flock to each other. Colin, you said Smash JT should learn something, but when that information is paywalled, you just come out privileged just trying to get a cheap shot, a cheap gotcha. No. What? God damn, you guys are stupid.
Japan is being very transparent, and it shows me a picture of, at least when it comes to physical, Ghost of Tsushima blew this out of the water, and that was during the pandemic where people weren't really leaving their houses. You would have thought digital would have blown up at that point, not physical.
Yeah, maybe not in that era. I mean, it wasn't until a few quarters ago that they really started selling an impressive amount of numbers in retail units physically anywhere in the world. The reason that
Smash JT's chat is just basically people, most of them just going, "Oh my god, Colin's so dumb. Smash is so smart. It's so fucking stupid."
Numbers have always been interesting, but the reason that they're not very valuable is the same reason why the Circana data wasn't valuable in, say, 2017, because it doesn't, or 2020, because it doesn't include the digital data. That's why people stopped citing it for a long time. They were in a lot of trouble, and then they actually figured it out. So now they have access to Steam, to PSN, to Xbox Live, and as I said earlier, Nintendo's the only holdout. So we just have, the only thing we know about the Circana data in terms of the order it's presented is that the Nintendo numbers would always be stronger. That's it.
Right. Which again, that kind of goes to my point of it. The information that we get from Circana is not necessarily accurate when you start giving places for what games sold where if you're missing data.
He just said that Circana is used for USA, for the United States of America. Like, he already said that. And he's mentioned that caveat saying, but USA is the biggest market for this. So you can extrapolate from there. If a game was number one in the United States, it's most likely going to be number one, at the very least, top 3 across the globe.
From a segment of games.
Yeah, that's why you have to read the legend on the bottom of every graph where it says all that. I mean, that's
I
it.
understand that. But when
so
people don't do that when they run with headlines and say it's the 18th best-selling game of the year. And
yeah, with a series of caveats. It doesn't include expansions. It doesn't include micro transactions. It doesn't include all these other things. Yeah, I thought everyone knows that because it says at the bottom of every chart. Doesn't include
Yes.
Nintendo Digital.
This chart literally says Japan sales.
I'm not arguing with you on this. I'm just saying, like, it's leaves room for manipulating what place the game really is. Would you agree?
No, it doesn't.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. The numbers are ordered based on the data as they're saying it. If they were hiding that they weren't using the Nintendo numbers, then that would be a different story. But they're telling you what numbers are included and what weren't. For instance, when Ubisoft went away, they said that Ubisoft went away, so Assassin's Creed disappeared off the chart. It didn't go from number 3 to off the chart. It just disappeared because they weren't tracking the numbers anymore. Conversely, when they get new data, they go backwards and update,
And they update it.
When Ubisoft inevitably comes back, probably after everything settles down with their new publishing arrangements, they'll go back and correct the numbers again, and then we'll see how all these games sold. That's what happened with the digital sales. They went from 2010 to 2020.
Oh boy, wait, hold on. Look at this chat. This big red one right here coming up.
The place of where things were.
Right? I know my big ass head's in the way.
Right.
So
instead of saying like these are physical charts, now it's like these are complete charts. And
this is why I like having the chat up here. Okay, this is good enough. Legacy journalism is dead. This is a media literacy cope. If you can't acknowledge that much of the rest of the world doesn't think like the West and doesn't necessarily support woke ideology and games like Yote, you rely only on US only data. Oh my God. This is his audience. This is the audience Smash AT has cultivated by saying this is the media literacy cope. This isn't even media literacy. This isn't media literacy. This is people who understand the behind the scenes of the game industry, people who flat out don't. This actually, he's so media literate that he thinks that this is media literacy, which is not. And then he says you have to use US only data, as if the United States of America is a woke country, as if our president's super woke. Fucking hell. If you can't acknowledge that much of the rest of the world, you just say the rest of the world doesn't think like the West and doesn't necessarily support woke ideology and games like Yote, it's not the best-selling game. You know what? Okay, so push is push square. Consent. Following from on its impressive #1 debut in Japanese sales charts. So in Japan, who you guys said doesn't like woke, it was literally #1. The PSR exclusive moved 120,000 physical copies within the launch week, having dropped on 2nd October. It's shifted an additional 26,000 units since then, bringing the total up to 146,000 copies. Again, that is very healthy return for a non-Nintendo title or something that isn't an evergreen property like Dragon Quest or Monster Hunter. Speaking of evergreen and Nintendo games, it was Switch 2's launch title Mario Kart World that jumped Sony's latest. It'll be interesting to see whether Yote remains in the top 10 by this time next week. So during its release, it was literally the #1 game in Japan. It was the #1 game in Japan. These people never know what they're talking about, whether it's the grifters or their audience, which is why I always implore you guys to fucking research shit before you pop off.
Like why I feel like Circana is not something that we should be championing as, oh, look, it is doing great. Because it's like, well, is it though? Like just because a bunch of caveats, all these other things, and to portray it the best way with words that are used to put the image into focus the most perfect way you can, say, because of all these things we said, the game is a success. It's like, well, I mean, I guess you could do that with a lot of things. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say, but I also think that that's like other people's positioning. Sony hasn't said anything about the game, which is not a huge surprise because they don't say anything about anything anymore.
Concern you?
Okay, so look here. Hypnotic. So how come when you put on the numbers, you don't mention these details? You only say the placement of the game on manipulated chart. Oh, it's number 4. Oh no, not oh, it's number 4 without digital sales in Japan. This motherfucker Hypnotic will be like, this is the worst game ever. Like he has no room to talk. Oh, this is why I wanted the chat up. Because by the way, I think he mods for him. So like, here, let's just. I'm not gonna play a whole video of his because I don't want to. They're gaslighting you by Yote. They won't learn. Massive drop. They're losing their minds over Ghost of Yote Japanese sales. Okay, let's see this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So apparently, Ghost of Yote.
Oh, this is perfect because this is the. I believe this is the same post I just read. Oh, that's perfect.
Yote has finally had the Japan numbers released from Famitsu, and all week we've been talking about this card.
Yeah.
Where physical is king, there's going to be an equal amount of people who are going to want to buy this game. Why
Wait,
this
what?
is important is because we have been wondering, well, if this game truly is a massive success and it is totally not a flop compared to Tsushima, then clearly in Japan, where physical is king, there's going to be an equal amount of people who are going to want to buy this game physically, right? There's not going to be a massive drop-off in Japan because in Japan, physical's king, so they're going to want.
So he keeps saying physical is king. Physical is king. Do you think he has proof of that? No.
To buy the game, right? Especially since Ghost of Tsushima was a brand new IP.
Oh my God, get to the fucking point.
Sales, but they're making it up in digital. It only works if you're trying to say that digital only existed with Yote, right? That argument only with Japan. But in any case, and if you keep in mind, digital, there's about equal number of digital, if not more,
Oh,
when
God
it comes
damn it,
to these
dude.
games. But that's not how it works in Japan. But in any case, and if you keep in mind, that argument only works if you're trying to say that digital only existed with Yote, right? Digital sales also existed with Ghost of Tsushima. Do we understand this? So even though when Ghost of Tsushima came out, by the way, it came out during the coup, so it's very difficult to land physical copies, but that's neither here nor there. Ghost of Tsushima came out, there were still digital sales that you could have. So whatever the number is physically, if you want to use that argument,
Jesus Christ, dude.
Tsushima too. And then you'll say, well, you know, it rose over the last couple of years. Yeah, that's fine. But when you add whatever percentage you want to add of digital sales on top of the physical sales.
Look how hard they're trying to make it seem like Ghost of Yote didn't do well. Look how hard they're going for this.
It's still a much bigger number than what Yote's at. So in any case, now we are here, right? After all that context, we are here. These are the Famitsu numbers officially for the week of release with Yote. And what do we have? Well, let's talk about it. On PS5, Ghost of Yote in Japan sold 120,196. Now, they're telling you in the articles, they're saying that, oh, yeah, Ghost of Yote is dominating all these games. Ghost of Yote is absolutely destroying all of these games. What, remasters? Super Mario Galaxy?
You see how disingenuous he is. Now he's trying to make this saying, oh, the game's only doing well because Nintendo put out a remaster. Is it Ghost of Yote's fault that they did that? Mario Kart World isn't a remaster. Digimon Time Stranger wasn't a remaster. Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay, I guess that was a remaster, I guess, right? No, the Evil's Chronicles is new. Like, these aren't all remasters. Now they're trying to say Silent Hill F is not a remaster. Like, now they're trying to be like, well, it only did well because look, it beat these remasters out.
Super Mario Galaxy 2, considering Tsushima dominated Digimon games in the past. So
see, like, this is the bombshell I'm talking about. They're just making sure they're, oh, well, you know, it only won because what Tsushima also done. It's like, shut up, dude. Like, and this is the guy. This is the guy in the chat right now talking about, well, how come you won't do that?
Not really.
Where is he? Oh, I think I lost
They
him.
didn't say anything
Whatever.
about Helldivers numbers for 3 months.
But they did say something about Tsushima fairly quickly after it launched.
Right. 5 years ago. Their whole strategy is different now. Everyone knows that because they don't talk anymore. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but like I'm not surprised by that. Helldivers was the biggest best-selling new IP that they ever made, and they didn't say anything about it for 3 months. So it's and I think that so they didn't announce numbers, I think, until 12 million units. I'm not saying Tsushima.
And also, let's not forget that this game has only been, at that point of the data we're talking about, available for 3 days. 3 days.
Or Yote is never going to reach 12 million units, probably. But I don't think it's that far off of the historical. I went and looked, actually, for Tsushima's numbers. It's like, after 3 days, 2.4 million. That's definitely ahead of where Yote was. I would say Yote was probably 1.5 million or something after, maybe 1.4 million after 3 days. And then they reported after 5 months. So 5 months later, so this is in November because the game came out in June.
His chat right now is saying, while Colin is explaining the data, his chat's going, damn, Colin is getting destroyed. Hypnotic. But the CEO of Helldivers did say something, so why is Sucker Punch quiet? Because that's what they've been doing. Like, he just said it. He's saying because Sony has forced them to be, and they want to be also. Like, you see what I mean? When they try to say that, Smash JT is saying, oh, well, when you don't tell people this stuff, it allows people to manipulate. These are the motherfuckers who are manipulating. Colin just said that for reasons unknown, Sony and Sucker Punch aren't talking about it. Like, they haven't talked about, like he mentioned, like Helldivers until way later. And he's like, yeah, but the CEO did say something. Why is Sucker Punch so quiet? We just went through their Twitter, right, earlier. They don't have to do this. But then these guys go, oh, it's because Sony is forcing them to be, with no proof or evidence. They just say shit.
Yote is about half off of that number now.
Right.
And it's also, and 5 months from its launch is going to allow it to absorb the Christmas season and all the rest. So they're probably going to be pretty stacked. Also, there were probably 20-something million more PS4s in the wild. The game was $10 cheaper.
Yep.
And that's why I was surprised you were. I'm not a Matt Piscatella fan. In fact, like, he doesn't like me at all. He's blocked me and like he doesn't talk to me.
Damn, dude! Like,
I'm surprised that you weren't that you were so skeptical of what he was saying about these different things. Like, the numbers are not bad. I don't know what people expect out of this. Will Sucker Punch have layoffs and do all these things? I don't know, but it's not going to have to do with the performance of this game. They've made their money back. They're making profit on it already. So now every copy of the game sold is going to make them more profit. Whether they're happy with it or not is obviously.
Yes, and that's the key point he kind of touched on here, though, is they're making profit. They've really made back the development costs. They're making profit, so they're good. And like he mentioned, we're heading into the Christmas season, which most likely will have some slight sales. And again, this is not even on PC, and they're acting as if this is going to ruin Sucker Punch, because these people believe that one game can completely destroy a big company. Mind you, this is the same Sony that put out Concord. Now, did Firewalk Studios close afterwards? Yes. But Sony, the conglomerate, didn't go out of business. But their mentality is like, a game I don't like, it's woke and it has women, I don't like the main character or whatever. That's the reason why the game's going to do bad. And then if the studio closes, it can never be because of budget cuts. It can never be because of greed, like we talked about earlier in stream with EA, right? Like trying to cut costs because of the $20 billion debt they have being acquired by Saudi Arabia. Like, they never talk about things that actually matter because they're so myopic in this fucking culture war that things can only be bad because they're woke. And if companies go under, it's because they're woke. That's it. It's just wokeness. That's the only reason people go under.
It's going to be a different story. But the reason I wanted to come on and talk to you was just to kind of assure you that, like, there is no better set of numbers. If you don't trust these numbers, that's fine. That's an accusation that requires incredible amounts of evidence, because it's like what everyone relies on. Like, all the publishers play nice on Circana because they're all also subscribing to Circana and getting everyone else's numbers. So it's just common
which is
sense.
what I said earlier. The publishers are being into it too.
To say about it. We can talk about.
Yeah, Jay Viper. So Jay Viper and Hypnotic are mods on this stream. Jay Viper, why did you say that without any data? Where's the data? Why did he just say that? Jay Viper, he just did it again. Hypnotic, how is there no better numbers on a post with no numbers, my guy? That makes no sense. How are you this stupid? We just explained why there are no numbers on this post.
Wokeness and all these other things, I don't care. But like, as far as this is concerned, like, that is the way it is. You can keep saying like they don't show the numbers over and over again. They haven't shown the numbers since 1995.
Well,
So-
let me back it up a little. I mean, that's a loaded statement of a lot of things you said. Let me
Not a
back
loaded
it up
statement.
to the point where you said, I don't know why you don't just believe Piscatella like he's the gold standard and all these things. This is why I don't believe him. And I made this post earlier today. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I said Matt Piscatella fellas peddling Ghost Yote's great line was the very same dude that was pushing Star Wars Outlaws was a success line. The very same dude that peddled Assassin's Creed Shadows has been the best-selling video game line. And let's not forget the very same dude pushing the classic Dragon Age. Were Dragon Age the Veilguard's PC volume included, it would have placed higher on the best-selling titles chart, perhaps as high as third overall, and he called that launch good. So, I mean, all of these turned out to be incorrect in the grand scheme.
These were not incorrect in the grand scheme of things. God damn it. Just it's such an easy concept to understand. Just look at the title itself. Despite lukewarm reception, Star Wars Outlaws is the third best-selling game of August in the US per Circana report. This isn't even from the guy who's talking about. Ubisoft Star Wars Outlaw debuted in third place in August while the top spot was taken by Madden. That's objectively true. It doesn't matter if the game itself made $100 billion, because that's not what they're talking about. What they're saying is when the game launched, it was the third best-selling game of August. That's it. That doesn't make it incorrect. It's a factual statement. If I said that, this isn't true, but if I said that like last year in like, let's say like February in the NBA, the third best team in the league was like the New York Knicks, right? And then you say, but the Knicks lost in the lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay. Oh, but after that mentioned that the Knicks went on they lost the next 20 of like 30 games. Okay. Does that negate the fact that when I told you in February that they were the third best team in the league by record, does that make it not true, even though they didn't achieve the overall goal they wanted? I didn't say that they were going to win a championship. This title doesn't say that Star Wars Outlaw is going to be the third best-selling game of the year. It doesn't say it's going to be a game that fixes Ubisoft's profits. It doesn't say anything of the sort. It just states a fact.
Scheme, as far as I mean, would you unless you'd argue that with me?
No, I would
These
argue with that with you. Our Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of the best-selling games of the year.
Would you say that Ubisoft considers it a success?
They
That's completely
said
different
on
things.
their own financials that it's in line with their expectations, and they have
I
a
thought they
fiduciary.
said
They
it-
have a fiduciary obligation to be honest in those things. They won't once they go private.
I
But
thought they said it fell short of expectations.
no, I had
That was
that's
Star
not what
Wars
they said. I mean,
Outlaws.
I mean, unless I misread the quote. It said it's in line with expectations.
That's Star Wars Outlaws
They
he's
never
talking
released-
about.
I mean,
I thought they
I
said
don't-
Star Wars Outlaws was in line. I thought they said
No,
something-
Star Wars
I would
Outlaws is the one that
imagine Star Wars
failed.
Outlaws really suffered because they have to pay.
Like he doesn't even know. I'm going off the dome and I know exactly what they said. He has access to the internet and just like, I thought that was no, like Assassin's Creed was a best-selling game, one of the best-selling games of the year. That's a fact. Star Wars Outlaws, while being third in August, didn't meet Ubisoft's expectation. Also a fact. Like these are factual statements, and he's just like, "What? Didn't this? I don't know." It's like this is what I'm talking about. These people do not live in a reality shared by most of us. It is whatever they feel. That's what happens.
Pay licensing costs. You're also ignoring the fact that like when Yote doesn't have to. I don't know what Ubisoft's particular cut is. They probably have a better cut than 70-30 because they're a larger publisher. But assuming it's a 70-30 cut or a 75% cut, Yote doesn't suffer from those. They get all of the money. So
Yes.
I think that you're kind of
That's a good
illustrating the
point.
reason why Ubisoft removed their numbers, because you can't really win. It goes back to the whole Square Enix thing with Final Fantasy 16, where they sold 3 million copies on like 42 million PS5s in a few days, and everyone looked at that. They looked at that internally as a failure as well. There's
Well,
like it really is about a matter of like if you have a conspiratorial mind towards this or not. I
It's
don't.
not really
Yes,
conspiracy.
exactly.
I'm just I want transparency. I mean, like, why would Japan publish transparent weekly and monthly sales charts, but the U.S. is relying on private firms that gatekeep the data behind
Because Japan has different fucking laws, dude. What do you want?
paywalls, and people have to run defense for them and say, trust them, it's good. This is the best we got. They're the gold standard. It's like, why Why do we need that?
Well, because
why do we
the other public data sets are not complete, so that we'll never have numbers from those
No,
territories.
but why is Japan transparent and we are not? Do you have any like issues with that, or do
Because
you,
like
or
what
can you explain
what is
why it's different?
what is the what's the
No,
point of that?
I can't remember it's like Media Create or something like that is the company that does it in Japan,
Mhm.
and it's a retail only environment that's existed since the late 80s. Those numbers go back even further than NPD's numbers. I have no problem with these numbers existing or being transparent. What I'm telling you is that I would love a situation where Circana numbers or Circana type numbers were public. It's just
Right.
that that's the product that they're selling. The numbers don't come for free. You know, they're in the same
That's
family as
it.
Nielsen and Bookscan and all these kinds of things. These numbers are all hidden. They share them by a. I mean, it's just obvious that
Would
they're.
you agree that it benefits the customers and gamers and investors?
This is a goalpost move. This is a complete pivot, because now his whole argument is, why isn't Circana's business practice in line with transparency? That's a completely separate issue than the numbers not being accurate. Like, that's not the same thing at all. It's a completely different argument. But he lost that argument immediately. So now he's trying to be like, he's trying to get some sort of concession from him to be like, see, I won. Because he's been focusing just like, well, why haven't they made their numbers public? Japan can do it. Okay. You can do whataboutisms for literally everything. How come other countries have free healthcare and America doesn't? Like, we can get into that too. Like, that's a non-starter for the conversation you're supposed to be having about the veracity of the numbers.
Even and developers, like literally everyone, to have actual numbers.
It does
Tony?
benefit. It does benefit the investors. That's why they subscribe to Circana. They see the numbers.
Right, but I'm just maybe I'm not explaining this properly. Wouldn't it benefit everyone to be transparent? The only reason why you would.
Hypnotic. Asking questions is a conspiracy. You serious? So either eat shit and trust the chart with your numbers. Other charts aren't complete. Your chart's missing relevant information. You're not complete either. Mind you, we just saw a video where Hypnotic was looking at data with numbers on it. Thank you for subscribing. We just saw a chart with Hypnotic looking at it with numbers and then completely making stuff up, trying to undercut it, saying that, oh, well, the only reason why this person or this game sold more because they were selling Rematch. Like, they don't care about the data. They don't. There's no data that they can look at that will confirm their worldview. So it's all conspiratorial. That's it. That's their whole mindset. It doesn't fucking matter. None of this matters. You could literally show them, here's how much money Assassin's Creed Shadow made. Here's how much money Ghost of Yotei made. Here's how much money, I don't know, fucking Dustborn, whatever it made. And they could make $40 million. And they will say that's fake because most of that money came from the government, or most of that money came through some shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People don't care about truth or anything approaching that. It's just content.
Not be transparent is to be able to play with the numbers, to manipulate it. Would you agree with that?
No, because Circana's entire
These
business
people
since
are-
the 60s, again, as the NPD group, they just recently became Circana.
These people
I'm not
are
talking about Circana. I guess
so
sorry, I moved on
stupid.
from that. Sony, Nintendo, like everything. Why is it private? Why is it a secret?
Because it's business craft. It's like that you don't want to share those
Yes.
numbers. They'll
But
definitely
in Japan,
say
they do.
they will. Yotei numbers, I don't want to say I know for sure, but I imagine they'll be in the next financial statement, and they're probably holding on to those numbers until then. Similar to Helldivers 2, because their strategy is different now.
Do
They're
you
not
think it's-
exaggerating. Yeah.
Do you think it's healthy for the industry when like people in the know, people that have access media or whatever?
I'm just looking. I'm sorry. I'm just looking. I know Steam session. Sorry. I'm just looking at his chat and it's so brain dead. It's so brain dead. Guys, Colin's business has big payroll now. He's like your run of the mill slopcore who protects their interests. Debate over, let the man feed and play. This makes no sense. This makes no sense. They're so stupid. They're laughing. LOL, business craft. LOL. Like, I feel like I'm listening to a politician. There's a whole lot of non-answers. He's literally explaining the basics of a capitalism to these people.
Have
It's insane.
anonymous published data instead of official figures. Do you think that's a healthy industry?
I don't think it's. I don't think that.
it's like situations like this, like what brings us together tonight, where we're debating something where it's like, well, if we just had the information, none of this would be a problem.
What are you talking about?
I guess I just don't gauge the health of the industry based on the transparency of sales numbers. Like
Exactly. It doesn't
I feel
matter.
like that's what your whole argument is, though.
See, and that's what Smash JT is doing is he's exposing himself here. Ew, I don't want to say that. He is letting people. He's slipping the mask slip. Okay. He is more focused on the numbers. Ultimately, as a consumer, as a person who's a consumer of anything, the numbers of something is irrelevant. If you are buying a TV, do you give a shit how many TVs of that model have been sold? Do you care how many Toyota Corollas have been sold before you make your purchase? No. Do you care how many people have watched a movie before you watched it, whether it's in theaters or at home? No, you don't care, because your experience is completely dependent on the actual product, not who's consumed them. As far as video games go, none of this shit matters. What objectively, what would it change in your experience if you knew the exact numbers Ghost of Yotei sold? Can you only enjoy a game when it sells over 10 million copies? Are you physically incapable of enjoying a game that's sold like, let's say like 500,000 in its first month? Can you not enjoy that game? Like, do you see what I'm talking about? None of this matters, but Smash JT is a grifter. And so if he can see the numbers, then he can start to concoct his plans to make like videos to be like, this game didn't sell as well as his previous game, so it's bad because it's woke. The numbers don't fucking matter ultimately. Like, they do not matter unless you are an investor into this company. It doesn't matter. And I've told you guys this over and over and over a bunch of times. None of this shit matters. It doesn't matter how much a game sells. You can still enjoy a game that's only sold 5 copies. It's not dependent on anything other than your experience with it. But Smash JT doesn't even fucking play games. Just talk shit about him. So he needs the numbers. Otherwise, he can't confirm that this game is woke, you guys.
No, my whole argument is that the most reliable data we have on software sales comes from Circana, that it shows that Ghost of Yotei has done well.
What
and
you just
that
tells me that you don't care, though. You're like, I don't care about the sales numbers.
I mean, I care about them academically, but I don't look at what you're asking me. Is it like a dark force around the industry? I'm saying no, I don't give a shit if we know the numbers or not. I care as an analyst, but it has no bearing on anything else. No, most people don't give a shit about any of this.
Exactly.
So no, I don't think so. The numbers are proprietary because you don't want to share all of your data with. I mean, Sony has long hidden their numbers. When the Vita was failing, they folded the numbers in the PSP and called them handhelds. People hide their numbers all the time. I do agree.
And you know why they do that? You'd agree with that too.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say,
for investors,
their new strategy where they don't say anything. So like Helldivers is the canary in the coal mine because they should have and could have said something way sooner than they did, but they didn't. And that game has sold way more copies than almost anything else that they've released this generation, probably except for Spider-Man 2. And
yeah, but that's a little bit different too, because I mean, anyone was playing Helldivers, so I mean, it wasn't like that big of a shock that it was a roaring success.
But that's the fucking point he's making. It was a roaring success, and they still didn't talk about it. God damn.
Yeah, I guess I feel like we're talking past each other. I want this. I would love a transparent situation. That would be awesome. It would be super cool, as I said earlier, if people even started leaking the numbers. We always loved that. Back on NeoGAF back in the day, people would leak the numbers. That's why I was saying earlier that NPD started putting fake numbers out in some people's charts to try to track the people down. That's how serious it is, because you're breaching the contract you have with them when you share the numbers. That's why people don't share them, because they're afraid that it's like sharing a screenshot and there's like some secret watermark in it. You might be accidentally sharing a number that accidentally points to your exact account because it's a little bit different, because they started doing that during the retail era. So that's why the numbers,
because that's their product.
I feel like that's what we keep getting back to, and maybe if it's a circular argument right now, maybe we can move on from it. But I just feel like right now we're kind of normalizing opacity, and the industry that is being built on
there's no way
spending is allergic to being accountable.
I'm sorry, there's no way that someone like Smash JT can sit here and say we're normalizing opacity, transparency, right, when his own content relies on him being as non-transparent as possible. His own content relies on him misleading people through omission. Like, again, not to plug myself, but it's my fucking channel, my stream. Go watch my video about him on Lana Pierce. He does literally nothing but lie in that whole video. Nothing but lie. All he does is lie. All he does is lie. He said again he had a source. No, he didn't. He said that twice. He had no valuable sources both times. And conveniently, in that BioWare video where he says they called him, that happened during the time where Dragon Age the Veilguard was going to be released. He's never had a BioWare Connect since. No offense, his channel has 124,000 subscribers. That's not enough for someone to be like, let me risk my job and call this dude and DM this guy when you're not even guaranteed that a bunch of people would even find out. You would go for bigger channels. You wouldn't go for, that's just how it works. And you look at this again, that J Viper. So they're putting fake numbers out there. Did you just hear that? LOL. Selective hearing, but it completely highlights my point. Colin was talking about how they will put out fake information to see who's leaking it, because they would obviously have the real information when they officially release their shit. This is literally the same concept of putting, like you said, a watermark on something. Like when Hollywood films, they have scripts and people leaking scripts, they will give them the wrong script and watermark it. They will give people copies of movies to watch and they will watermark it. So if that shit leaks on the internet, they know Steve leaked it because it has the code that we gave him on it. And that's not saying they have a fake movie. Like, God damn it, dude. They're so stupid.
To the very consumers that they're selling the products
And the worst part is they know that their audience is dumber than them.
to. And I feel like that is a massive disconnect that does not exist in all regions, but it exists here. And all we have to go by is various analysts, not just
And
Piscatella and
mind you, their entire argument is just show the numbers. And he's explained at length why a company would not just show the product they are selling to random people on the fucking internet. Like, no one does this. You give a sample, but you don't give away the whole thing for free. There's no business in that. There's no money in that. So they won't do it. They want you to be curious enough to fucking purchase their product. That's why they do it. Like, I don't know how else to explain that concept. Like, it's like, okay, maybe if you're a YouTuber, you clickbait, right? You make an outlandish title, you have a crazy thumbnail, you want to get people's attention, then they watch your video, right? You don't just tell them the entire video on like the thumbnail. You don't just have a thumbnail that says, this video is about me discussing why Smash JT is a liar about Alana Pierce. Citing example, like, you don't do that. A book has a cover, and that cover doesn't say, in this book, this fucking person dies, and this is the page they die. Harry Potter and the fucking what's the book that Dumbledore died in? I think it was not Half-Blood. Whatever. They're not gonna be like, this is the Harry Potter book where Dumbledore dies on page 700, right? Because they want you to fucking read the book.
There's various analysts that also
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
You say he's the gold standard. That's your preference. That's your opinion, which is fine. But I don't necessarily agree with you on that.
Okay.
I think that if you don't, it's totally fine if you don't believe the numbers. I think you have to present evidence as to why the numbers don't count and why everyone in the industry believes them.
I just did. I thought we went through all the screenshots of how he's done this in the past before.
Yeah, because you used Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is
Dragon Age Veilguard.
Dragon Age Veilguard did sell really well in the beginning. It tailed off, and we don't know what the expectations were for the game. It did sell. It sold several million copies, didn't it? So it didn't sell like 2 million copies.
I don't think, not in the first few weeks. No, maybe it got there eventually. It was.
No, it did. It did in the first few weeks.
I don't give a shit about Dragon Age. I don't play Dragon Age games. What I'm saying is that like, this is the reason. Like, what
he said was incorrect about it. It doesn't matter if you played it or not.
It wasn't incorrect though. That's the whole point.
You're looking at they're not lying about the numbers. You don't understand what I'm sorry, dude. You really don't know what you're talking about. Like, you really don't. Like, everything rides on their long-term reliability. That's why they went back and fixed the numbers when they didn't have digital access, for instance.
Yes.
Like, games.
But I feel like by presenting information that's a partial picture, with a whole bunch of stipulations attached to it, it paints a very fake image of reality that people
No, it
run with
doesn't.
to try to get a W. And it's like, well, that's
What is the W?
A W. Yes, thank you.
I guess I'm curious, like, what is Circana's W by presenting their clients with bad data? Go ahead.
Have you seen the internet? Whatever.
No shot. No shot. No shot. No shot is this dumbass trying to say that Circana, a company that's been around since 1966, is trying to win internet points. No shot. Absolutely no fucking shot he's trying to say that. Jeff, you cannot be this stupid. You cannot be this stupid. You cannot be this stupid.
Everyone's running with right now, how they're trying to get owns on everyone. Oh, look.
Do you understand that Circana's data doesn't exist for the internet, that it exists for
Oh my
paying
God.
clients that rely
Oh my
on
God.
reliability?
Then why does Matt even tweet anything out?
Because I just said this earlier, because they tease the numbers so that you subscribe to get the actual data.
Oh my God.
That's why they do it.
Look at Smash JT's face. Look at his fucking face. That is a person who is so out of their depth. That's why he keeps repeating the same thing. I bet you he's going to be like, well, you know, then why aren't they transparent?
That's why they've done it forever. And in fact, back in the PS3 era, they stopped even doing that and everyone got mad. So they started releasing them again. That's why. Like, this is a frustrating conversation because you say you worked at SOE. Like, how do you not understand this shit? It's like, it's crazy to me. No offense. It's like, how do you not understand?
I understand. I don't agree with it, is my point.
Oh my God. Yep.
I feel like it needs to be more transparent.
I fucking pre-watched. Observation hockey. Observation hockey. Right here.
And I don't agree with the methods. I feel like it's very disingenuous. It paints a false image. And you're saying
Just
it's
repeating
fine, bro.
himself
This is how
over
it
and
works.
over and over and
Maybe
over and
that's
over
where
and
the
over and
disconnect
over.
is. As I'm saying,
That is how it works. You have to find someone you have to find a new entity that can go to all the retailers and publishers and console manufacturers, get access to all of their numbers, and then give them to you for free. That's what you're gonna have to find. In the meantime, there's a company that scrapes all that data and charges.
Like,
I'm not protecting. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it has always been. If there's
oh my God, dude.
There is no territory in the entire world that shows their numbers transparently. There's none. Japan and Europe show retail numbers.
Right. And
they're not transparent numbers. Most people buy their games digitally. Those numbers are widely useless.
I mean, again, this is your opinion that you're stating as fact.
That's not opinion though. More people I consent. This is from GameEnergy.biz, which is a reputable website, okay? It isn't like some fucking minute bullshit. The vast majority of game industry is digital. This has been the case for quite some time. Overall, when we factor in downloads, microtransactions, DLC, subscriptions, PC, mobile, and so on, physical game market represents a very small share of video game business. However, when we are talking about the sale of brand new video games, the physical business can actually prove to be an important way to distribute and sell video games. Let's take 2023 across Europe, according to GSD, which tracks physical data and digital sales. 72 million video games were sold via physical retailers. And if we just look at brand new games or some are sold games which is 2023 only, we can see that 42% of all new games were sold in 2023. That's quite the market share. Now, if you notice, 42% is not 100%. Right? Can we agree on that? That means that 58% of just the new games right here were digital, which is more than physical. 58 is bigger than 42. And even here it says the GSD data is very good but isn't complete. It tracks physical retail sales for all major European countries but doesn't quite track every retailer, and there are smaller European nations it doesn't track, such as Greece, for instance. So even here there's caveats because there is no data set, I guess, outside of Circana that's truly complete. But even then, they say this data shows that physical doesn't sell as much as digital. It could be a great boost, but most of the games are digital. And of course, there are some outliers like Nintendo Switch, right? But Nintendo Switch digital shit, physical shit, their GameCubes are still digital. And this is just in Europe. Like overall, digital markets are taking over. We know that. Physical sales are down in the US. Shipped to digital game. Like this has been happening for the last, like, I would say like 10 years, but really in the last like 6 is when we've had a real pivot to just digital releases. Again, you look at Steam. Steam is fucking completely digital. There's not physical release on Steam. And these are the same loops that will use Steam charts to gauge a game. Like it's just inconsistency in order to win online arguments.
You're saying most people buy it digitally. These are useless. Like that's not a factual thing. That's your opinion.
That's factual.
I'm saying this is a factual thing we're looking at here. Something that's not lied, not this is tangible. It's an actual graph showcasing sales in Japan. And oh, by the way, if you
It shows retail sales in Japan.
Right. Sorry. Retail sales in Japan.
Do you not understand that that's
that's
a huge
difference.
caveat?
Yes.
There is
That's a
a
huge caveat.
Yeah,
Huge.
but they also sell for Tsushima digitally too. It's not just digital.
Right.
But this isn't showing digital sales for Tsushima. This is just showing physical sales, retail sales.
So you're showing retail. You're showing a decline in retail sales over the last 5 years. That's
No, I guess we could show another chart showing other sales of other
Holy
games
moly.
that line up with Tsushima, but now we're kind of moving the
Jesus
goalposts.
Christ.
I thought a good argument was based off of the direct competition of its predecessor, because most sequels I think you've been in the industry long enough, companies.
Once again, you cannot do that without another caveat, which you seem to hate. Ghost of Yote was sold during the fucking pandemic. Okay? It's going to have more overall sales because more people were indoors. Just like how Twitch streamers saw a massive increase in viewership. Video games as a whole saw a massive increase, as did anime, because more people were at home. More people being at home means more opportunities to watch stuff and play video games. Notice how during that time period, theaters weren't doing so well. I wonder why theaters weren't doing so well. And did something happen within the last 5 years as a strategy shift? Did we switch more things to streaming?
Expect a sequel to far exceed and outperform the
Jesus
original.
Christ, dude.
That's not necessarily true. I don't know where that comes from.
Okay, well,
That doesn't even make any sense, does it? I mean, does that really make any sense when you think about it?
At least as many as the first one, I guess you could say.
I think that it probably.
I like how he walked back.
The first one when all.
I like how he walked back immediately.
5 million after 5 months.
Do you think that was what they set out for? Was their goal?
What does that matter?
Considering Nate Fox said the game cost the same amount of money or around the same amount of money that they developed the original one in, probably.
Like, he's fucking shifting goalposts so quickly. First it was, hold on, wait. First it was.
In the meantime, there's a company that scrapes all that data.
Wait, hold on. I went too far back.
Oh, by the way, if you
It shows
wanna
retail
take
sales
counter-
in Japan.
or sushi-
Hold on.
But now we're kind of moving the goalposts. I thought a good argument was based off of the direct competition of its predecessor, because most sequels I think you've been in the industry long enough, companies expect a sequel to far exceed and outperform the original.
And notice how he was saying this whole time that Colin was just saying stuff, right? And things that aren't factual. And then here he says most companies expect their sequels to far exceed. No, most companies expect a profit. Okay, they expect a return on investment. They say if the first game sold well, the second game should sell well or equal. They're not saying if this game sold 1 million copies, this next game should sell 3 billion copies or it's a fucking failure.
That's not necessarily true. I don't know where that comes from.
Okay, well,
And then he walks it back.
I mean, does that really make any sense when you think about it?
At least as many as the first one, I guess.
Look at that bitch move. Well, yeah. Could you just say at least? Do you think they sell at least as much as the first one? No.
Guess you could say.
I think that it probably will sell close to the first one when all is said and done. 5 million after 5 months.
Do you think that was what they set out for?
And now the thing is, but did you think that's what they set out for? None of that matters. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because what is the point you're trying to make with let's say that he Colin says, no, I truly don't think that was what they set out for. Okay. What does that change? It changes nothing because what is your argument now?
Or was their goal?
Considering Nate Fox said the game costs the same
He
amount
just
of
wants
money or
Colin
around
to
the same
agree
amount
with
of money
him
that they
on no
developed the
matter
original
what.
game? Probably.
So he keeps
Well,
walking it back.
$160 on the original game.
That one is very vague too, because they say they don't give actual information. So what
Yes,
does
they do.
about
They
the
said
same even mean? 1 million away, 10 million more, 100? Like what is? Oh, it was
Why would about this? Okay, that's just based. Now he's nitpicking. If I said this game cost about the same as the last 3 games that came on the series, and let's say the previous game cost $60, about the same, maybe $65. Why would I say it cost about the same and then the other game cost $300? Like they're not being charitable of anything. They're trying to nitpick literally everything because they just want someone to agree with them, to be like, no, you're right. You're right. Look at me, someone who, because at the end of the day, if we're being really real here, no matter if you like Colin Moriarty or not, right? Colin Moriarty is someone who has some standing within the game industry. Smash JT doesn't. So he wants some recognition. Honestly, just by Colin being on the stream with him, Smash JT's in a sense won. He got with some sort of accountability, credibility onto his platform, right? Like outside of like Grums, who has zero credibility, he has not gotten anyone anywhere near the industry to like engage with him. So this is a win for him in this regard. But he desperately wants Colin to see him as someone who's like intelligent or can hold his own, but he clearly can't. And this desperation is oozing through this whole debate.
was almost what would the
Like
what
he
was
just
the
wants him
quote?
to
It was
agree with
close
him.
to how much the original
Yeah,
budget was?
I think he said surprising. I think he said, I had it here in my notes. Very, very similar.
Very similar.
So assume it's even 1.5x more.
Mhm.
That brings it to 90 million.
Mhm.
I assume the marketing spend is another 0.5x more.
There we
Sony
go.
has made all of that money back plus another 50 or so $1 million, and now every single game that they sell is pure profit.
Correct. So if we're saying we'll say just for numbers use, we'll say it's 100 million for the budget. So you're saying right now that it's at 1.6 million they've sold. That's at 80 million. They need to sell, we'll say another 900,000 or so to get to 40 million more, and that would be a 20 million profit in a year or so of selling this game. By the way, I want to be clear. I never said this game is not going to turn a profit. I just said it.
Ghost of Yote is a massive flop. Ghost of Yote sales tanked. What else could you extrapolate from a video literally titled Sales Numbers Out, Ghost of Yote is a massive flop? What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't say that? You said this 2 weeks ago.
Apparently, we have some numbers on Ghost of Yote's sales. According to Endymion.
Oh, yeah, dude. Someone who's super fucking trustworthy in his data points, right? Super trustworthy.
I mean, I don't know if it was a boycott. It was just people saying, I don't want to participate in purchasing a product that hired someone that I disagree
That's a fucking boycott, dumbass.
on a fundamental level that is now illegal. And they show the software sales for Ghost of Yote. And Galaxy 2 is number 2. Final Fantasy Tactics 4. That's really what it is. EA Sports FC, a game that came out the week before, number 2, beating out everything else. So, I mean, yes, it's number 1, but I would have predicted it to be number 1 when it launched.
No, you
The
wouldn't have.
competition that came out. That's not the W you think it is. That's not the O. One, no one cares, mate. Just enjoy your game. I don't know what is. They don't understand the dynamics of the politics going on in America right now. They just see, Japanese game, follow up to Tsushima. Cool, I'll buy it. And honestly, if I was in that environment, I probably would buy it too. No sales numbers in a week. How is that going for you? Battlefield.
Like this
I'd
is
say that boy. what we have that's actual tangible to go with. But we have
The shows are already saying success for Yota in Japan, but like in the UK, they're even got the 43% drop in physical sales.
so much coping going on. It's not even funny. We got Genki saying, Ghost of Yotei, #1 best-selling, sold 120. Yeah, it's great. Source, Famitsu. And Grum says, not so fast, Chief. Sales are down 40. These are good sales for PS5 software in Japan. That's not the point. Now you're moving the goalpost, bro.
That's
The
not
overall
goalpost
PlayStation
moving.
Physical software market in Japan is down about 50% from the PS4 era. Okay.
But do you
Still,
see?
not making your point any better. This is not making people go out and buy the console to play this game. Where I would argue Tsushima actually did that.
See, he's so fucking stupid. He's literally reading, these are good sales. And he's saying that PlayStation physical software in Japan is down overall. Overall is down. So it makes sense that Ghost of Tsushima would also be down physical sales. But he's saying, well, Ghost of Tsushima made people buy the console, which he has no proof of. He's just saying that shit. Like oh my God, dude. Look, Ghost of Yotei debuts with 126 physical copies sold in Japan. Install base 5 million plus 255,000 pro. Ghost of Tsushima launched with 212 with a bigger install base.
With 212,000 physical copies sold, See Shadows is terrible. Continue Tsushima, according to Just, and it says, seems like the game is not liked by
He keeps
anyone.
talking. He keeps using grifters.
And this one, I really want to focus on this before I go into the article because I thought this was fascinating. Nick Tech posted Ghost of Yotei versus Ghost of Tsushima visuals side-by-side comparison. And this is actually Tsushima on the left, Yotei on the right.
Obviously.
I mean, Yotei looks really good. It looks really good. Give it credit where it's due. It looks. I mean, what are we doing here? This looks amazing.
So what, you just glazing Ghost of Yotei or Tsushima?
Oh, that game. That's maybe it is, but my experience with Endymion is typically he's been pretty accurate.
Okay, that's enough of that. Endymion's been accurate. The same guy who said he had insider information. Yeah, okay. The same guy who said that insider information about Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then he just told you the same story of Assassin's Creed, like Memories or some shit. Like, okay.
It's going to fail when compared to Tsushima and what could have been. That's always been my argument.
My theory about this is that you guys don't like the game because it has a female protagonist.
Yes.
And and you don't like one of the chicks that worked at the studio that said really stupid shit. Nate Fox fired her. So I don't know what else you wanted him to do. And that you're actively rooting against it. Like you actively root against all these other games for amorphous reasons of it being quote unquote woke.
He's 100% correct, by the way. You just saw the video where he says that the game tanked, it flopped. According to Endymion, it's doing bad. And then he's like, I'm gonna glaze Ghost of Tsushima, the one that had a guy in it.
Say you guys. I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself, which is all I'm going to do here. For me personally, this was the turning point for me. When I saw this, I'm like, yep, I'm out. That's me personally.
When she made a post in 2020, when she says she's anti-fascism and so is her wife, we're like, oh yeah, can't do that. Someone who's against fascism can't support that.
And I think for a studio to even consider hiring an activist as their lead protagonist for a game, that is a very dangerous road to go down, because then you end up in a situation where there are potentially multiple people like me that see something like this and say, I don't want to support that. This person actively hates me and what I stand for. Why would I support a game?
So you are admitting you are a fascist. Like, obviously he had the Trump intro in the beginning, but this is just bold admission. Like, I'm a fascist. And I don't like the fact that she hates fascists.
And put money in the pocket of someone like that.
I think that's great that you feel that way. It doesn't mean that like it had a wide-ranging effect on the. I think that, well, because you're projecting everything about the game based on Sucker Punch's casting decision and the behavior of one of the people at the studio. There are plenty of people at Sucker Punch that don't like me at all. I know a lot of people there. There are plenty of people there that don't like me at all. I don't.
You motherfuckers hate me.
Do you want to support people that do not like you actively?
Dude, I'm a conservative in the video game industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's not much of a choice if you want to play games. It's the creative industry. That's just the reality of the situation.
I would
I lived in
disagree
San
with that.
Francisco
I
for
think
10
the
years. I
only
was the
way
most
to
conservative
enact
person I
change
knew.
in the industry is to speak with your wallet.
Okay, and people
Yeah, I
did,
agree.
and the game sold well.
Speak with your
So
wallet.
what now?
But don't project onto you got. It's obvious, dude. You guys are you're so wrapped up in this culture war over this game.
Yes.
And you can't back up and see the forest for the trees. I'm sure you guys cost, and not only you guys, but other people that were offended by it, cost the game, I don't know, tens of thousands of copies sold. Certainly it would have sold more copies and did more if the casting was different.
But you're
And
saying
people weren't upset about
you guys.
But notice how Colin just made up a number. He just said, I'm sure you guys must have cost them thousands, even like tens of thousands of dollars, right? Notice how suddenly no one's asking for numbers. Suddenly, no one wants Colin to bring data to that because they like that he said that. So they'll just let it go. There's no point of pushback on that because these people just want confirmation. They have confirmation bias. That's it. Oh, he's saying that we cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's right, because we voted with our wallets and we said this game's woke. So it didn't make as much money as it potentially could have. And no pushback on that.
Caused it to not sell. But what about the people that we didn't cause to not sell, but people just that don't watch YouTube that saw this and were like, why did they put a female protagonist into this game? I don't want to play that.
He's asking, what about people who are sexist? What about the people who are sexist and don't go on YouTube and don't watch that content? You ever thought about that, Colin? What about that? Like, what the fuck is that supposed to do? What is that supposed to do?
That. What
why
about
wouldn't you, what's the big deal about that?
the game was based off of Jin Sakai, a story with a male lead protagonist in feudal Japan.
Oh, fake fan. He's a fake fan. Smash says he's a fake fan. He didn't play Ghost of Tsushima. Because I can tell where this is going. He's going to say, why didn't they continue his story? His story that was completed. Especially after the DLC. His story's done. It's done. It's over. And again, I have mentioned this shit in the past, right? Where suddenly these people are like, Jin Sakai was the greatest video game character of all time. He wasn't. And they were like, and Sucker Punch said that they were going to make 3 games and they were all going to star Jin Sakai. And then they changed it and now it's woke. Like they act as if they were promised more Jin Sakai. They act as if, again, a company doesn't notice a good idea and want to expand on it. Why would you handicap yourself by making repetitive Jin Sakai games where you can't really make a different story because previous events have to connect to what's happening then, when you could allow yourself the freedom to create this world of the ghost of everything, right? I mentioned this in the past video. I'll link it later on, but you could have so much more potential. This is basically their Assassin's Creed, where you don't have to abide strictly by what happened in previous games. This allows for so much more creative freedom. But Smash JT is not a creative person. They can't comprehend that they don't want to be shackled narratively. If you've ever played, like, let's say like D&D, for example, doing a one shot as someone who's done like a multiple campaigns is super freeing because you can try builds you would never try that would not sustain a long campaign, right? You could be, I'm a glass cannon, right? And then you're going to regret that shit 3 levels later. But if you're like, we're doing a level 10 one shot, go nuts. There's a freedom in that. Like there's even like for like actors, when they get roles where it's like, it's a bit role, you're only going to be here for one day or one scene or one film. You get to go ham because nothing you do matters at the end because your character's written off or dies. So have fun. You don't have to make the decision you make now. It doesn't have to bite you in the ass, 3 or 4 movies from now, right? Like you get freedom. Like the creative process flows when you're not shackled by certain things. And these people don't understand that. So they go, I played as man before. Why can't I play man now? Girl, make me angry. Like, fucking hell, man. Like they're incapable. That's why this is the same person who had an AI intro. The idea of being creative and artistic eludes them.
That people fell in love with. why would Sucker Punch change it to what many people would say the narrative, and especially during the peak era of, I guess you could say, wokeness or whatever you want to call it during the pandemic?
Did you play Ghost of Tsushima?
I did. One of my favorite games of all time. Love it.
How the fuck would they continue the game?
Thank you.
Jin Sakai becoming the ghost, go to the mainland, open world, would have been amazing.
No, it wouldn't have been.
I don't. So you wanted a direct sequel to the ghost story that was wrapped up, especially with Iki Island and all that stuff, as opposed to
Absolutely.
jumping forward.
Yes. Yes, I did. And I know a lot of people that did.
I don't know. I really don't know how the story would continue from there. The story is over. He's wanted. Oh, I don't even want to even. I don't even want to spoil.
For writers write stories. They create the story.
Writers write stories. They create stories. And they chose to create a different story because they didn't fucking have to use Jin Sakai all the time. And you know what? Every review says about Atsu, better character than Jin Sakai. Is more of a character. Jin Sakai wasn't much of a character because he couldn't be by his writing. It was all about like him struggling with him being honored. Like what would be his storyline? He's already come to terms with the fact that he's a ghost. He's wanted. He's all this shit, right? So what? Just people hunting him down for bounties? But what's the bigger story? What conflict? What personal conflict could he have on the mainland now? His attachments are on Tsushima, not the mainland. So what could he possibly have? These people don't understand storytelling. They don't understand emotional stakes. They don't understand anything. They just think, but he's a man. So just keep the man there, even though the story's done. That's creative bankruptcy. Like, again, he says writers write and they create. So you want them to create some hack-ass story that convoluted to be like, well, actually, someone from Tsushima is coming for Jin and it's his secret brother. Like, what the fuck could you, like, it's done. If you like Ghost of Tsushima so much, go fucking play Ghost of Tsushima again.
I could give you the same pushback saying, I don't know how you'd write a story 100 years in the future throwing a chick in there. Like, what?
Easy. He's so fucking stupid. You guys, and maybe because I actually do write, I'm actually, a writer. If you told me to make a future of Earth 10,000 years in the future, I would go fucking crazy. But if you told me to make a story based on Earth in like the 20s, I would hate it because I'd be beholden to so many pre-existing things outside of my control. Because I could say 10,000 years from now, 5,000 years from now, aliens actually come to Earth, make first contact, and then within 1,000 years, our society becomes a spacefaring society, and boom, we're off to the stars. And then Earth now is a resource planet. People don't really live here. Like, you could just do so much there. What the fuck am I doing Earth in the 1920s? We just got over the Great War. Like, what the fuck?
Like, what kind of argument is that?
What is the? Well, it's a. I want to go back to the chick thing. Like, what is the problem with it being a woman? Because it's a fantasy. It's not.
They're
supposed to be
sexist.
historically accurate.
Let's go back even further than that. Why did they need to put a girl into it?
They wanted to.
I guess it was a creative decision. I don't mind one way or the other.
Exactly. That's the problem I have with it. I disagree with that creative decision. And I was like, you know what? I still might be open to it. Because
You were never open to it. Maybe found a woman,
maybe
dude.
the game doesn't go overboard in any direction. But as soon as I saw this post from her, I was out.
But that's
okay.
Just me though. I don't speak.
Right.
For
That's
everyone.
just you and select number of other people. That's great. No one's saying
Who cares?
You can't feel or don't feel a certain way about it. I think what a lot of people are confused about, and what I'm certainly confused
Why
about,
does it matter?
is the hate and this energy that you guys put towards disliking everything. It comes off to me as touristy. If I'm being perfectly honest
Just
with you.
because I don't like what you like doesn't mean anything. I loved Expedition 33 is one of the best games I've ever played. I fell in love with that game. It was amazing. It's song. One of the best games I've ever played.
What does that have to do with?
What's it with anything?
What does it have to do with saying you hate everything? I'm like, no, I don't. I just gave you examples of games I love.
But why is your YouTube channel covered in all the things you hate then?
It's covered in things that are interesting to me. There's things that I hate, things that I like.
Things that are interesting to you. Okay. Dan Clancy is a certified gooner. Microsoft just gave up the console war. Everyone should be Antifa. Consume. DEI addiction just killed Remedy. Massive layoffs at Ubisoft. Shills of Yote. Fired. Disaster. Man wins tournament. This is transphobic, by the way. Creep. TwitchCon hack. pressing charges. Imagine dating her. Yikes, Bethesda. Sweet Baby Lies. Cooked. Hassan is 100% cooked after this. Copying Nux Taku. Wow. You're so bereft of originality. You're copying Nux Taku. Well, I guess by extension, Jade Animations too. More injuries. TwitchCon's a complete disaster. Emery Taco found. Intellivision Amico discovered. Colligate crash out. Complacent game design. TwitchCon assault. Attack gamers. Doggone. Busted. Big streamers hate him for this. Big trouble of Yote. Gooner hate. Director ban. Dog days. What a loser. Busted. So the Hassan Collargate. Asmongold destroys Sony Pony fanboy. This is things you find interesting. This is things you find interesting. The entire thing so far, I've scanned for 2 weeks. The one neutral thing he has is Legendary X33 sells 5 million. Him laughing about ads being pulled. Source, Ghost of Yote is crashing and burning. Sony gives up. Oh, what's that? From the Park Place. Halo Studios in serious trouble. They found actually this is what you find interesting. This is what you find interesting. Using the same thumbnail, but then using Alyssa instead of Elon Musk. These are just interesting to you. Arrest Hassan, just interesting to you. Pokemon DEI consultant. Oh, it's a woman, therefore bad. This is interesting to you. 0 players. I was the only person in the world who played Relooted, who played the demo. The demo for Relooted. Interesting. This entire time we went for a whole month, and the only positive thing you said was Expedition 33 sold 5 million copies. Interesting.
Things that are something curious to talk about. That's my YouTube channel. That's always been my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It comes off.
The interesting thing about how this all seems to work is people that don't understand who someone else is, oftentimes they just hear the negative stuff and then they get a perception of, oh, that's all that guy is. Because
Jeffrey, why do you do this when we have access to the internet? What if I just typed in, I don't know, a random person's name? Stereo Stalker, Alyssa Mercante now stalking Asmongold again. Alyssa Mercante rushes discovery. Alyssa Mercante, and Alana Pierce team up to fight valid criticism. Alyssa Mercante contacted Madam Savage sponsor to counsel her. Alyssa Mercante's lawyer is ruining her entire case. Alyssa Mercante suing for harassment while encouraging harassment. Alyssa Mercante, Alyssa, Did Kotaku just fire Alyssa Mercante? Jeff Grubb sends for racist Alyssa Mercante. Jeff. Weird, because what did you just say? What were the words that you just said?
this post from her,
Think what? And if I'm being perfectly honest
just
with you.
because I don't like what you like, play. The thing about how this all seems to work is people that don't understand who someone else is, oftentimes they just hear the negative stuff and then they get a perception of, oh, that's all that guy is.
Interesting. Someone putting out just negative stuff about a person to create a perception about them. Interesting. Like calling someone racist, like saying someone's doxing you or harassing when they're not. Interesting.
Because they don't actually research and find out, oh, actually, he's multifaceted and talks about a lot of different things. And I found him because of something he hated, but he actually talks about things that he loves too.
No, you don't, though.
I looked at your YouTube channel. It was all, I mean, I'm sure there's things on there, but it was all just the same shit.
The lack of self-awareness.
Not about like, I would love to see. Do you do like deep dives into games and like
I
play
used
games
to.
with people and like talk about the games you play and
No.
or is it about everything that you hate and like the
No,
next
on my
woke
games-
thing and
on
the
my
woman
games-
or the didn't
No,
you
on my
like
game
or when
streams,
you
I
called
talk about
like when
games
didn't you
all the
call
time with
Tales of Kenzera Zao woke because it had black people in it?
No, I feel like Tales of Kenzero Zao got caught up in the crossfire of a situation.
No, fuck you. You fucking lying piece of shit. No. Here's what we're not gonna do. Here's what we're not gonna fucking do. Here's what we're not gonna fucking do. This is him.
Play this, like, as we've already learned, he is an actor. Now that we know that in the future, now go back and watch this knowing that information and listen to how he talks.
Yeah,
and
he's a
tries to
mouthpiece.
and tries to
Mhm.
manipulate you. Listen.
You said that he tried to manipulate people because he's an actor and he was crying about his dad that he lost.
I mean, I played them all my life, man, from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god.
Harry's Mod, Golden Sun,
He's leaning really hard into it.
and
Golden
it
Sun is good.
started with my dad, right? He got me into
Wakanda
them.
forever.
He understood, that games are an art form. It's a great space to enjoy.
But they're just being
the
racist.
reality of the world.
And he's trying to say that he got caught up in the culture war. Motherfucker, you were streaming this.
I'm sorry. I
We
have no
already
black
know how
person
you're
to
gonna
bounce this
finish
off
that.
of.
Yeah,
Why are you
British
wearing
black?
like your
No.
Rafiki or
Because he's leaning.
Yeah, you're right. He's wearing
why are
this
you
sort of
wearing
like,
the thing? Why are you wearing the cape? The side
like, oh,
cape?
I got my Kwanzaa
I don't
costume
know,
on.
Sammy. His
Yeah,
game is
yeah,
based
exactly.
off of-
Why are you wearing the Kwanzaa
His
thing?
game is based off of his culture, and he's leaning heavy into it too.
But he doesn't know his culture.
While speaking in an accent
I
that's
can't
more English than
more about
mine.
that. I don't know if he knows his culture, but listen.
I'm telling
so-
you, he doesn't know his fucking culture.
No. But
They did say Wakanda forever,
He's
yes.
like, okay, you know what? Respectable. Brings up his dad, and his dad passed away.
But 4
Yeah.
years ago, I
Listen.
decided that I needed to
Oh,
try and
yeah,
process
he
my
just got
grief
it like it
in
was
a
his
way
own.
that felt
Wow.
Like,
Going-
he's saying this shit.
This is like
Manipulation.
fucking Hamlet.
a piece of art that honored him, an ode to the people we have loved and lost.
Wow, that is
You-
pure
I mean, this
fucking
is like
manipulation.
Fucking Hamlet here. This is the
Pure
main.
manipulation.
Like,
Hi
he's
guys,
doing-
before I
Poor
show you this
Yorick,
piece of
I
shit
do
that I
as
made,
well.
let me tell you that I'm going
Before I show you this
immediately
piece of shit that I
fight for the
made.
death of my father, so that you can
Is
only
that
think
not-
of that while you're watching. You
My
bastard.
father.
And does Jeff try to correct him and say, hey, that's not fair to say, you don't know his person? Or does he just let it go unchallenged?
So
Right.
That's the
Otherwise-
coolest thing, by the way, because Gerard
that's
did
like
the same,
feminine energy. That is,
Gerard
man.
did the same damn thing with his mom passed.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he compares it to Gerard doing with his mom. So for him to say that, oh, it got caught up in the crossfire, as if he was not an active participant in that, liar.
Situation. I actually feel bad for Abu Bakr Salim.
No, he doesn't.
Well, if you feel
No,
bad
he
for people
doesn't.
like that, you should think twice about kind of some of the energies you're putting into the ether in the industry.
No, I think it's
Bad.
important. That's why we're here, is to find out information, to give the information to people.
Like such a
and to
liar,
get it
dude.
accurate.
Yeah,
You don't
get it
care about
accurate.
accuracy.
And that's why I wanted to come on to let you know everyone in the industry knows that the gold standard of numbers is Circana. Doesn't mean and yeah, everyone knows that. Everyone subscribes to it.
Did you buy Tales of Gonzalez, or
Yes.
was it you bought
don't-
it like, with money, or was it?
I don't
gift-
get anything for free, dude. I
Okay,
buy
so
all of my games.
You bought it
Yeah,
and you played it.
I platinumed it.
Okay. Just make
I
sure.
don't get anything. That
See that right there, right fucking there. He tries to be like, I feel bad for Abu, man. He's a kind of crossfire. Did you buy that game, by the way? Was it given to you? That's what the insinuation was. That's why Colin said, no one gives me anything, I buy it. He's like, I platinum. He's like, oh, nothing to say about the game. Because it was just a pawn. It's just a piece of a puzzle for them. They don't give a shit. He doesn't give a fuck about Abu. You literally just saw me show you. That was during his live stream, during the Game Awards. That's what he was doing. He was like, look at him, he's fake. He's trying to manipulate you. That he gives an eighth of a fuck about Abu. Oh, I feel bad for him. No, you don't. You only covered Zhao because it was a black game. It was a black person making a game with fully black characters about Africa. And you hate that shit because you're a fucking racist. And I can say that confidently. You're a racist.
That was the other thing I really liked about it was when you made a video about me and you used the thumbnail with the shill in it. You're calling the person who doesn't get anything for free from anyone, who accepts no free games, no early access, no travel, no preview events, no
listen to how you
hardware,
talk about
no
stuff.
anything, and then saying I'm a shill, but you like for what?
Listen to how you talk about Circana and defend it.
That's not shilling.
So if something is objectively true and one defends it, they're a shill for it.
I don't believe that Circana is objectively true.
Oh my god, I don't believe it's objectively true. Doesn't matter what you fucking believe, you dumbass. True is true. This is the flat earther argument.
True. That we talked again, circular argument here.
Oh
we
my
talked
God,
about
dude.
how they obfuscate
I told you Colin's gonna lose his mind,
numbers,
by the way.
miscorrect, and make it seem like something's better than it is, and then far afterwards go back and correct it with, oh, actually it was way further down than it was because now we
He's
have
so
all these other
fucking
ones that are
stupid.
above it.
Again,
He's so
again,
goddamn
I'm gonna
stupid.
say, that would only be a point if they were dishonest with the data at the time, but they were letting everyone know they only had X data. So this is the data that we're presenting. You're arguing. You're literally
So when
arguing
you
against actual
said
data being
it's already
dragged from.
the 18th best-selling game, I don't see any asterisks here. I don't see you telling people that. You just, I mean, by your own definition, this is misinformation.
So you want me
Not
to have an asterisk
misinformation.
in it, and it says, "Ghost of Yote is the 18th best-selling game in the U.S. when not counting Nintendo digital games, expansions, DLC, microtransactions, and non-major PC storefront." Like that's the asterisk we have to put in there. If you
I
just
mean,
look at the
if you're
data,
gonna
it says
say-
all that
because
anyway.
That's what I mean. To my point, that's why I can't trust Circana because there's too many things that go into it to use that as the gold standard.
He's so stupid, dude. Because then what's
No, dude.
what's the alternative then? You're mad that Colin Moriarty on his tweet didn't put, oh, but these are the caveats? But, oh, you can't trust Circana because there's so many caveats. Like, do you see how from their own mouth, there's nothing consistent besides the fact that they will lie and manipulate shit? It doesn't matter if it's facts or not. They don't care. They do not give a shit about anything factually. They don't care about facts. Facts are inconvenient to them. It's literally feelings. It's feelings over facts. He doesn't believe Circana is trustworthy. So that's all there is to it. Then his dumbass audience would hypnotic. Exactly. Precisely. Like that's what they'll just do.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. It's like you don't want to hear like what I'm saying. It's just it is what it is. You can believe what you're not. What I was trying to say earlier to you when you interrupted me, which is fine because I think we have a little bit of a latent connection. I'm not offended by it. Was that like part of the fun of getting the Circana numbers or the MPD numbers back in the day was trying to plug in the things you did know to try to figure out what you could figure out from the charts. And we already did that. We have numbers for Sonic Racing. We have numbers for Metal Gear Solid. We have numbers for other things, Silent Hill. You can put the numbers in there and figure it out. It's just like it just seems like you want to disbelieve. And I'm just telling you, not everything's a conspiracy. Not everyone's out to get you. There's literally nothing. There's nothing in it for them to misrepresent the data because if the data is wrong.
But Colin, what you don't understand is everyone has to be wanting to get them. They have to be victims. They have to be being attacked. They have to be the ones being, ostracized. They have to be on the outs because otherwise, what do they have besides permanent victimhood? Which again, I've talked about. They need to constantly be victims. The game industry hates them. Circana's going against them because they want to look like they're buddies with the woke industries. Like that's literally their thought process is conspiratorial thinking. That's all it is.
Then they don't have jobs anymore. If the data is wrong, no one will trust them. Don't you understand that? If they are lying about the data and that is found out, that is such a major controversy in the games industry and would be a huge problem. It would swallow that company up. But the exact opposite is true, that they have to be incredibly accurate to have a business that's going for so long. It's the beginning and the end of it. You cannot trust it and not believe it, but it's true. So spreading, FUD about it is kind of lame because there's so many other things to attack. It's the same thing with the wokeness argument about, oh, this is woke and that's woke. It's like you're missing the forest for the trees, like to attack and like really rally around certain things that make more sense than.
And that's the same shit I tell you guys all the time. They focus on things that don't matter. I don't like Ubisoft. They don't like Ubisoft. They don't Ubisoft because Assassin's Creed had a black samurai. I don't Ubisoft because of their business practices and how they treat their employees and the level of harassment, their poor leadership. But they will tell you that Ubisoft being bought by Tencent is because Assassin's Creed Shadows tanked the company, and not because of poor leadership that led to them finally being bought out, because Yves Guillemot would not leave the company. The Guillemot fan would not leave. And they ran it to a point where they need to be bought out. But they won't talk about it like that, because it doesn't satiate their bloodlust of this is bad because woke.
Everything can't be a problem.
Let me ask you this, and I guess because we're kind of been going for a little bit here, this is kind of towards the end of my questions I had for it, and again, thank you for this conversation. I think it's been very beneficial for everyone.
It hasn't been.
Saw this before.
It's only been beneficial for him, like I said earlier, because Colin is someone of some standing in the industry. That's it. This benefited Colin 0%.
Started. This is from Matt Piscatella on Blue Sky. This is the man we're supposed to trust with facts. He says, never ever.
There's no shot that Jeff is so fucking stupid that he cannot tell he's being sarcastic and making fun of people who do this. There's no way. There's no way, you guys. Chat, there's no fucking way he cannot understand that this is a joke.
Ever let facts get in the way of believing what you wish were true.
Yeah.
If you believe you can fly, you go ahead and touch the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy that you want us to.
You realize it's sarcasm making fun of the people about Ghost of Yotei.
Oh my God.
No, I don't care.
You understand that that's what he's doing, is making fun of the people that are making fun of.
I don't care what it is. Amazing. Thank you for the admission of what I've been saying. I don't even know how long I've been watching this particular part of the stream. You don't even care what it is, because you're going to hallucinate your own reality, right? And then be upset that other people aren't confirming it.
When I read this is supposed to be the gold standard, and this guy says, don't let facts get in the way of believing what you wish for true.
He's literally doing it. I cannot understand. He is Smash JT. Jeff Tarzia is literally doing what Matt is joking about. Never let the fact Matt is joking, get in the way of believe what you wish for true. Smash JT, he's not joking actually, because I don't care if he's joking, because he's supposed to be the gold standard. I'm supposed to believe him. Insane levels of unawareness. Oh my God.
He's making fun of you, dude. He's making fun of you. Do you not? Holy shit! Do you not understand that he's making fun of you?
I understand
and people
what he's
like
trying
you.
to do. This is a self-tell. This is a self-report to me. That's
What
how I.
the-
God bless you, dude.
The God bless you. The God bless you is so fucking cold, dude. This is the bless your heart moment. Like, oh, you're one of the. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I get it. All right. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. You always, like black people would just say, hey man, you got it. Hey man, you got it. That means this conversation. That means Colin's officially done.
Like I think you're an interesting cat. I will say this. I don't know all the details about your situation with Alyssa or whatever. But I'm a freedom of speech guy and a freedom of expression guy. People talk shit about me, clip my videos, do all that kind of stuff all the time. I never go after anyone. I don't know the specific details of your situation. It has nothing to do with any of those things. I think people are really hard on you for a lot of other things. This is the specific problem I have, is nothing to do with any of the other controversies that you have. It's specifically about things that I know are true that we shouldn't even be arguing about, because there are so many other things that could be argued about. And instead, everything becomes a point of conflict. And it's bad. It's bad for the industry. It's bad for gamers. It's bad for everyone.
I want to point out this chat one more time. Why is Colin getting so mad? Colin is mad. He's so mad. Do you see how? And then someone wrote, he's supposed to say ad hominem, but he wrote as hominem nonsense. At what point did Colin use ad hominem? He didn't insult his intelligence. He didn't call him names. Like, let's listen to this again.
About your situation with Alyssa or whatever. But I'm a freedom of speech guy and a freedom of expression guy. People talk shit about me, clip my videos, do all that kind of stuff all the time. I never go after anyone. I don't know the specific details of your situation. It has nothing to do with any of those things. I think people are really hard on you for a lot of other things. This is the specific problem I have, is nothing to do with any of the other controversies that you have. It's specifically about things that I know are true that we
Like,
shouldn't be arguing about.
where's the
because
ad
there are so many
hominem
other
here?
things that can be argued about. And instead, everything becomes a point of conflict. And it's bad. It's bad for the industry. It's bad for gamers. It's bad for everything. And I feel like you guys, and again, I say you guys, people like you thrive on this sort of
Like his chat is literally going, Colin is mad. Colin is going for low blows. Like, then prove it. It's not true until you show the data. So bitter. Like again, him and his audience are just hallucinating. No one with a brain would be like, Colin is so mad and bitter right now.
energy.
Like,
It's always content about other people, other people's opinions, random amorphous things, but never about the games. Never about playing the games, never about enjoying the games, never about streaming the games, doing content about spoiler casts and review discussions, anything like that. It's never.
and I guarantee you, because I saw his facial reaction, I guarantee you, Smash, he's gonna talk about, wait a minute, I stream video games all the time, completely missing the fucking point. Because now that he knows, he actually at some level registers that he's been called out this whole time. So now he has to grab onto any small things back. See, he's wrong. You guys, I do play video games. I do stream. Okay, so I was wrong about that one thing. But was I wrong about the negativity you spread? Was I wrong about the half-ass information you put out? Was I wrong about you literally lying about multiple points that I brought up? No. I can't remember off the top of my head what the debate tactic is called, but like, it's when they hyper focus on one thing you got wrong. You could have said 100 things correct, but you missed one. You got 99 of 100, and they'll be like, see, if you missed this one thing, how can I trust you on any of these things? And it's like, it's unrealistic expectations. Watch.
Never about the games. And my suspicion is it's never about the games because that's not where the traffic is for you guys. So I think that actually the people that have a lot riding on keeping this sort.
Endymion lies, dude. Endymion literally does that. He has no videos on his page of him playing video games or even talking about games that he likes. Every fucking video of his is a negative video about something, or it's a quote unquote positive video, but it's framed negatively, meaning they are talking about how this game is better than every other woke bullshit game out there and never just the game on its own merits. You did this. Pokemon Legends ZA sales support Jonathan fans are mad. Pokemon ZA fans tell you to stop attacking Game Freak. Pokemon ZA. It's official. We're in the war on video games. Super Defenders humiliated. Nintendo's lost their minds. Bigots. The gaming industry is losing itself over ideology. Battlefield 6 has proved AAA gaming wrong. The welcome to just admit that the players are right along. Bleak, they're dying. Eat slop, dead as hell. It's their fault. Hope is a virus. They are dying. Like, every fucking video of his is negative. All of them are negative. He is 100% the person Colin's talking about. 100,000%. Literally all of his videos. All of these videos are negative, hate-filled videos. All of them. Do or DEI. PlayStation Dump Super. They're all negative. Every single one's negative. Every fucking single one is negative. And then what does he say in the chat? Lies. We don't make negative content. We don't only talk about negative content because that's the only way we get traffic to our channels. That's not true. That's their whole fucking business plan.
Sort of facade going are content creators like yourself. That's why I wanted to come on, because this specific thing that you're talking about is not true. Your audience can believe it or not.
Colin is 100% correct.
But it is what it is, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't want to
dispute
interrupt you. I'm
VG
letting you-
charts data, or you want to dispute Alinea data or whatever. That's different. But you're disputing data from the horse's mouth.
That's
Makes
fine.
no
I
sense.
just don't want to. I don't want to interrupt you. You were on a good one there. I just want to focus.
And he
on,
thinks he's like, if he gets a snarky remark and it's like, I'm winning this debate. I'm winning, you guys. It's so over.
like a lot of what you said. Like, I stream games almost every single night.
I fucking told you.
Talk about games every
told
single
you.
time I stream. I talk about what I love about them. I talk about what I hate about them. Everything you just said.
I told you.
Seemed like a tremendous amount of guesswork and hypothesis about someone you know nothing about. And I don't understand why you would do that.
The fucking irony, once again, the total lack of self-awareness for Smash JT to say some shit like that when he has no idea who Alyssa is. He doesn't fucking know Alana. He doesn't know Kim Belair. He doesn't know any of these people he talks about in his videos. He knows them 0%, but he's continuously talks about them. He continuously yaps about them. He continuously puts out false information about these people. Consistently does that. But now that he's being accurately assessed by Colin, it's, I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would say that about someone you don't know. What a mean thing to do.
Because it makes you look really foolish.
Last videos, breaking, massive layoffs at Ubisoft. Yote, next video, Yote flops. Next video, the gamers woke revolution crashes. The next gamer, Microsoft has no clue what gamers want. The next one, man wins women's only Fortnite tournament. The next one, now they're saying Twitch CEO Dan Clancy did nothing wrong. The next one, TwitchCon streamers PC infected by massive virus. Like, where is the game? I'm not seeing anything here. There's no, like, I'm scrolling through your shit. Like, I see nothing about any games. There's nothing about a single, there's nothing.
This is the hypnotic approach, by the way. Just getting people riled up and be like, well, you should watch the video then. I saw the video. We showed it on Steam. There was nothing about him playing a game or what game he loves or anything like that. At all. At all. The closest we got was him showing a video of a comparison between Ghost of Yote and Tsushima and him just glazing Ghost of Tsushima. But that's it. There was no video dedicated to how much I love Ghost of Tsushima. Here's a deep dive of Ghost of Tsushima. Here's lore. Here's nothing. Nothing.
About it. I'm calling you out here. There's nothing about a single fucking game on here that you've played. Like, where is the content?
I'm also calling you out. Maybe you should watch them to find out. Because, I mean, we both live in this world. You understand how you title videos to get people to get in there and watch what you want to talk about, right?
No,
we
title all the Sacred Symbols episodes after random song titles. So no, we don't do clickbait, actually.
Okay, well, I wouldn't argue it's clickbait. I would say it's a way to get people interested in a topic.
That is clickbait. That is clickbait. That is literally clickbait. If you say Sweet Baby Inc. destroys another company, and the truth is they didn't destroy anything because they are a small fucking consultant agency company and they do not have the ultimate power over the sales of a company, that is clickbait. You're trying to cash in on the fact that you and your ilk have created this hate machine towards Sweet Baby Inc. to get views. That is clickbait. Putting Alyssa in the thumbnail of a video that has nothing to do with her is clickbait.
That you're going to be talking about. It's applicable. It's not lying about what the topic is, but it's probably the most interesting part of the story in the video that I want to highlight. But I talk about many things in the videos.
What I think is true is that you wouldn't be able to do what you do if you actually talked about the games.
Facts. 100%.
Where are you getting that?
100%.
Looking at all of your videos,
okay,
like all the titles of your video is like. So I just want to understand is within.
Let's do something real quick. Let's go to, because I know he has a live channel. Let's do that. Let's go to the live channel. So he's playing Amnesia, which is fine. Let's do a thing called comparison, compare and contrast. This channel, he started this channel, let's see. 2025. 2025. So literally this year. He started this side channel this year. The guy who loves video games so much that all he does is play games and stream or whatever. He started his gaming channel this year. Played Silk Song, Schedule 1, Split Fiction. So he's played about 1, 2. Well, this is Xbox 30. It says this is Stella Blade on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's say, because let's just say 12 games. 12 games. Guy streams. He said he streams every day, every single day. Every single day he streams. Members only. Members only, members only, members only. Of course, because it's all about money for him. Not about, love actually playing video games. Most of the videos here, however, are not him fucking playing video games. It is him doing more of the same. But more to the point that Colin was making, this channel, even at 14,000 subscribers, doesn't get anywhere near the views of his other channel, his main channel. The main channel being the channel where he does not talk about the games that he likes. The main channel with 124,000 subscribers is the channel in which he talks about, again, things that he hates, negativity. He gets more views, not a lot more views because his views have been going down the toilet, but nonetheless, he gets his views from doing this shit. Not specifically talking about Hassan, but from doing this negative shit. So Colin is 100% correct. Is 100% correct. He would not be able to do what he does if it was not for him being like this. That's true. That's true. And his most recent views this last month have been dog shit. Like maybe the Sweet Baby one is decent because it's almost half his subscribers, but you have 8,000 views. You have 20,000, 8,000, 4,000, 14, 13. This one did pretty good. It's one video. And that's it. So he has to do this shit. Like he literally has to do this shit. He was riding the Charlie Kirk train, by the way, when those videos popped off. That's why I got a bump. But other than that, and talking about Asmongold occasionally, has to mention Alyssa, of course, because that's his go-to. His views are not good. Not for his subscriber count. But he has to keep pumping this shit out. Like Colin's 100% correct. You literally could not do what you do unless you're doing it like this. He's 100% correct. But all of his fucking morons, aka Smash Odds, are gonna be like, what? No, he plays games. You know what we're talking about. You know what we're talking about. Motherfuckers, you don't watch him play games. This stream, I saw like the number for it. It peaked at like 1,000 and had 820 people in at one point. This stream we just saw had 271.
Is within the confines of the video titled Asmongold Destroys Sony Pony Fanboy? Is there like a deep analysis of Chronos the New Dawn in there that I'm missing? How about, is there behind the video the title Goonergate Returns, the extreme right? Is there some sort of real deep dive into like what Xbox's strategy is?
Probably not in that video, but Colin, you have to understand, I publish 4 to 6 videos a day. So sometimes
that's insane.
You'll find a video that I post that does apply to what you're interested in. That's
no, you won't. You won't though. I just went through his channel. You won't find it.
Of all this.
I'm like a month back now, and I don't see anything on here about any games.
I'm not going at you for what you talk about. It's very strange that you're
because I talk about video games. I don't talk about other people and other people's content.
I do too. I'm just making the smart decision of not talking about it because I don't know enough about what you talk about to even go down that road. You're doing that with me, and you're making a fool of yourself right now.
No, I'm not. I'm reading the titles of your own videos.
You absolutely are, because people that watch me know that you're making a fool of yourself. If you read the chat, they would be destroying you right now. I'm seeing it. Like
Wizards of the Coast joins extremely controversial trans strategy. Within the video, after you click on it, what you'll find is an expose about BioShock. It's just that you're hiding it behind things that really want to click upon.
That's probably in the BioShock videos that I cover. See, that would make no sense. That would actually be clickbait, what you just described right there. But anyways, this is kind of circular. Anything else?
And then the thing is too, he's like, my audience, yeah, your fucking dumbass audience is going to obviously say that, oh, they're destroy you. If you guys watch what I unfortunately have seen a video of 2 of yours. You do not do anything differently than what he described. You don't do anything differently than what was described. You don't do deep dives. You don't analyze shit. You read tweets from Grums, Endymion, and go to that park place. Or you harass Alyssa and stalk her tweets. That's it. You don't do any sort of fucking research.
Before we wrap it up?
No. You're an interesting character, I'll tell you that.
Well, I really appreciate you joining. I know this wasn't easy for you.
It was easier than you think. But I appreciate your time.
Wait, was that for Tonga Plays in this chat?
Behind the video, the title Goonergate Returns.
A day. I'm not talking about it because I don't know enough.
Also, like I said before, putting out 46 videos a day is no quality control at fucking all. That is a literal fire hose of content.
About what you talk about.
I'm reading the title.
If you read the
Joins Extreme is a
kind of easy for you,
it was easier than you think. But I appreciate
for you.
Hold on, wait. I'm trying to see
that.
what he wrote.
Well, I really
No. You're an interesting character, I'll tell you that.
Well, I really appreciate you joining.
Colin is taking opinions about Sony way too personal. Oh, for Tonga players, you're so simple.
Easier than you think. But I appreciate your time. Thank you all out there. Good luck with your content. Be well. And
Colin is a journal. He copes, he sees. Like, this is the audience. You're like, oh, they would destroy you. Your audience is full of fucking morons. Now he's gonna probably try to make a coping session back here, right? Bro, there's a lot of vagues instead of solid numbers. All they do is use talking points to push a narrative. Like, this is his fucking echo chamber, dude. This is his goddamn echo chamber. And then he's doing what, a post-game recap of his own stream? This is so... Was there ever a point brought up about Ubisoft layoffs after AC Shadows? But did you not remember what I said earlier in this stream? When I said that they would be talking about AC Shadows layoffs as if AC Shadows is why Ubisoft laid off and not them fucking being bought out. Like, do you understand what I'm talking about? These people are fucking stupid. So he's just rewatching the stream and then watching other people's streams, and then that's it. And then David Jaffe. Okay, yeah, all right. So we're done with this one. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God, you guys. Oh shit, it's midnight. I didn't realize that. But I just want to say real quick. I love that so much because it highlights perfectly. If you put their feet to the fire, they will just burn up. They have nothing. They don't have the capacity to articulate their points. They can't stand by their points because their points are fucking pointless. They don't have any merit to them. And you want to see something funny? I found this screenshot afterwards. Poll for Smash JT. Who won? Smash, Colin, draw. I don't know the final result, but on his own channel, they said he lost, and it wasn't even close. 56% of the people who voted said that Smash JT lost. Like just after, like, in thinking, even with just the smallest, tiniest bit of scrutiny, Smash JT is completely folded. His entire argument was just, the numbers aren't transparent. The numbers. What, the final result was 62%? God, your own chat. You know, I wouldn't see what the comment section said for him. Oh, it's Cope. Oh, of course it's Cope. The 11-minute intro validates all of Colin's critiques. I now understand the point behind the phrase, my expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Oh, so it's not Cope. It's most people. Yeah, Colin with the floor with this guy. I don't know why YouTube's lines will stay up. I just witnessed a murder. Man, Smash, you gotta rethink your life after all this. You got exposed here in ways you don't even grasp. Jeff Lee thought showing a chart of physical sales declining at past figures proved his point. This was a public execution. The funniest thing about this is how JT doesn't know how badly he got clowned here. Oh, but he does, which is why out of all these tweets, all these comments, he's like one, and he pinned it. He pinned. Because everyone else is just saying you got destroyed. Why don't Circana give away the data they're selling? Jeff's entire argument. Why wouldn't Starbucks just give their coffee away for free? Oh my God. Watching Colin debate random gaming outrage YouTube, which is like watching sucker who's debate a random street urchin in ancient Greece. Matt Piscatella sarcastic pure gold that he doubled down even after it had the intent was explained to him makes you more hilarious. This JT dude is clearly not the sharpest. Career-ending moment. Now here's the thing though. As funny as it is to see him get absolutely blown out on his own fucking page, none of this matters. And none of it matters because of what I said before. Just having Colin on his stream was a win for Jeff. Because look, he's able to milk out multiple videos about it. Like he's able to talk about the stream he just did, right? And then he's also calling them shills of Yote. Like he's just gonna come back to this. Yeah, this is the guy's channel. And he's like I put out 4 to 6 videos a day, but but you're gonna find something. Oh, am I gonna find some real in-depth coverage with the Caller Gate crash out? Am I gonna find something about video games about calling Sasha Grey and Den's morons? Oh, because he is no longer turning on donations. We should what is this about video games? Leak doc exposes Pokemon director banned from Game Freak. But where's the in-depth analysis? Goonergate. Shocking apology. Trans exposed. Like, there's nothing here. This is the only video probably just about a video game for the sake of a video game. It's just how many it's sold. There's nothing here that would even indicate. And the idea that people would have to click on a random video in order to be like, this is the video. Like what? I have to click on the 2 game video to talk about the history of Mass Effect? Like, you know what I mean? Like all of this. None of this is about games that he likes. Elizabeth Conte celebrates the judge doing this. Lawsuit update. Oh yeah, dude, this is real information about games. Oh, I talk about video games. This is Charlie Kirk. Kotaku founder insane. Visa Jobs posting exposes control of gaming future. They're afraid. Zero players. Dustborn broke all the worst records. Yeah, dude. So much love and passion you care about. Like that one comment said, what a wide variety of topics you talk about. Like, take us north, deleting everything. Melissa Mercante. Ban VPNs to save the children. Zero kids protected. DEI is dead. Angry Joe's epic meltdown about Trump. Dude, I mean, where else could I get this information from? Thank God you post 4 to 6 times a day. Wowie wow. Anita Sarkeesian in the big 2025. Like, Japan's McDonald's Pokemon promo devolves into complete chaos. He talks about Pokemon 2 months ago and then recently and nothing else. So he's not a Pokemon fan. Chun-Li's Gooner costume double Street Fighter 6 players count. It's such a grift, you guys. It's such a fucking grift. It is such a goddamn grift. And he got exposed. And what did he do? He went back to his little bubble where it was safe and was like, my chat said you were wrong. Even though they literally said that he lost the fucking debate. Oh, man. But again, I'm thankful that it happened so people can see. People with actually working brains who aren't part of his fucking echo chamber can see this guy has no idea what he's talking about. Ever. He has no idea what he's talking about. But I do hope he keeps taking requests. I do hope he keeps having people on his stream that just completely destroy him. because it's funny to me. It's funny to see someone so out of their depth and needs to rely on their audience for support, because none of these people can stand on their own 2 feet. Not one of them. That's specifically why I had the chat up during that stream. You saw Hypnotic, Jay Viper, Vour Dark, Bertanga Play, like all those people in this room. They were all in there because they have to be in there. They have to. They can't do shit on their own. It was just Colin. But they can't. They have to be up with each other's assholes. They have to. They talk about wokeness and shit. They have created safe spaces for themselves. It's so fun. Meanwhile, I get shit from my own audience. I get people calling me out on my own audience. But they're all about like, oh, you guys care more about feelings than facts. At no point did he give out any facts. Everything was a feeling. Everything was a feeling. All they do is, this is how they operate, okay? And that's why, again, that stream is very educational. All they do is hallucinate a reality and then try to force that to be the universal truth. You saw that with the clips with Hypnotic. He saw data that have the numbers. They even showed, which was new, they even showed the total sales, completing like, how much this is additional to the previous sales. It did all that. And it still had Ghost of Yote #1. And he saw that data and then went, yeah, but the other games are remasters. As if to insinuate that it only was #1 because games were being remade and remastered and that wouldn't make it sell more. Like, it doesn't matter if the data is transparent as possible. It will never be enough for them if it doesn't confirm or conform, I should say, to their worldview. That's all this showed. This was all an exercise in confirmation bias. There was nothing that Colin could have said that would have appeased Jeff. That's why Jeff kept walking back from all his points, because he wanted to give him some concession. He wanted just a complete non-caveat concession, and he never got it. He never got it, and he wanted it desperately. That's why he kept backing down from everything. He start here and then moved here. First it was the Circana numbers aren't trustworthy. Then it became, okay, but agree that it would be cool if Circana gave the numbers out. Okay, but how come Japan's doing it? So now the conversation is, why does Japan have a different business practice compared to Circana? Because that's not why Colin was there. Colin was there because you were saying the Circana numbers were bullshit. And he was like, no, they're the gold standards. They are coming directly from the horse's mouth. People pay for this data, so it has to be accurate. Then it's, oh, you're a shill. Which is funny because the audience was saying that he was doing ad hominem, Colin was, but really it was Jeff. Jeff called him a shill. He didn't have a way to counter his argument, so he said, you're a shill. Look at you defending this company. And by defending the company, what was Colin doing? Explaining how things work. Does that sound familiar? Oh, I'm a shill for Sweet Baby Inc. because I'm explaining how consultant agencies work. I'm a shill because I'm explaining how game journalists actually are paid. You're a shill because you're actually telling people what the experiences for like minorities are in these gaming spaces. Do you see how it's the same exact argument? It's the same defense for them. You're a shill if you explain something that I'm hallucinating about. You're explaining something, which means that I can no longer feign innocence on this topic, and that's going to ruin my money. So I'm going to call you a shill because that makes you automatically not trustworthy. It's the equivalent of nice argument, but I've already made you the soy jack in this meme. So, like, that's it. They base their opinions solely on feelings, and when facts come around that knocks on the door, they think the house is coming down. Exactly. They do not. They do not give a shit about anything being factual. It's whatever makes their feelings, it's whatever makes them feel better. That's it. That's it. It's whatever makes me feel good.